Well, hey, how you doing, Mr. B? Can you hear me, James? Did you mute or did I mute? Nope, he muted. So anyway, guys, yeah, if you didn't see it, you missed a heck of a live chat over on Beekeeping Gardening with Sebastian. Mike Berry was on there. Ashby Miller. I was on there. But then Michael Palmer came on. So Ian Stepler came in and he said, wow, this is the quietest I've ever seen, Bob. I said, a smart man knows when to listen and when to talk. So when someone like Michael Palmer and people that have all of that wealth of knowledge, I'll close my mouth and listen more than I speak. So it was very interesting. You can learn a lot from that. And James, hopefully James will come back in because he was just on here a second ago. But it's all about for me. Oh, here he comes. There he is, the driving Canadian, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I don't know what the heck went on there.
I don't know. Usually when that little timer's on, that it mutes everybody, but when you came in, it was unmuted, so I muted you, and then I unmuted you when it came live, but then you could talk. So
yeah, who knows? That was an interesting.
Wow, it's still daylight over there.
So I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was. Sebastian told me a little while ago he might come in for a little while. But I didn't know when or if it was actually going to happen, right? Then he popped up and I was like, okay, time to be quiet and listen, to what's going on. And, and I told you in chat, I was like, yeah, I was the weak link of that conversation. And you're like, I didn't think so, but
I don't think you were the weak link at all, actually. And the reason I don't think you were the weak link at all is you're doing it. You're living it right now, real time. And that's huge. The experience, that you're doing right now, you can take that and tie it in with what they're talking about. And that's just going to set you up for success going forward.
Right. Well, I mean, when they were saying do this and do that, I was like, I was that guy. I made that mistake, right? And it did. It took me Okay, so the first round of grafts, right? I got 2 cells, and both of them were stung, right? Because we found out we had a virgin queen. It took
Right.
basically 3 full grafting cycles for all of that brood to hatch out.
Right.
So it was definitely a learning curve, right? But since then, well, I got 11 in the incubator, and I've got 7 more in there, right? So if you think about my scale of what I've got going on, 18 queens right now
That's
is
freaking awesome.
it's perfect for what I need. Now, will all of them come back? No, I already know that, right? They're not all going to come back mated, but that's kind of in the plan, right? So that gives me room to maneuver a little bit. And, there's some queens out there that aren't doing very good. And, part of me is like, I want to just eliminate them and drop a cell in. It's, I mean, but that's probably not the best thing. So I'm going to use my mating nukes that I have set up and let them hopefully come back mated. And, some of mine that are out there maybe don't have a queen in them. Well, then they'll get a cell or a virgin and let them work it up.
Exactly.
So,
did that make sense, though, what Michael and Sebastian were talking about there with the quality over quantity? Remember, I was talking about the larger cells, the ones that still have, royal jelly and stuff like that in them. So that's kind of goes back to, I mean, you're using a 6-frame nuke, so this kind of goes back to, maybe 10 cells in a 6-frame nuke are a whole lot better than trying to graft 20. And that's kind of where I was saying that might be part of where you're falling down, trying to get 20 cells out of a 6-frame nuke. You might only be able to do 10, and maybe you only want to, like, the next time you graft, maybe just try 5 and see what the difference is between the 20, the 10 I think you did this time around, right?
No, I did 20 this time and got 7.
Okay.
And I did 22 and got 11, right? So maybe that 10 is the sweet spot, where, hey, you do 10, you get 10.
That's what I was saying. So next time you do it, try 10. But the other thing, too, is really important, and that's kind of what I've been trying to hammer home, is that emerging brood. That emerging brood is so important.
Right. Well, I mean, we had already talked that my plan was with this. Now, maybe I don't know if I have an advantage with this starter finisher because my brood was emerging at stages that I have still some young bees in there, right?
Right. Well, and you built it by shaking all those nurse bees in there originally too. So that's what sets you up really good for success, but on that second time around, right?
Right. So right now, obviously 7 was not even 50% of what I grafted, but
let's call it 7.
Yeah, that's still 7, right? So my thing is now, do I refresh that cell builder, or do I leave a cell behind to just make it a nuke now?
That's completely your choice. I think the reason you were going to leave a cell behind, though, is you needed that equipment, right?
Yeah, I was going to use that equipment, but I want to run the 3x6, right? We've talked about that since forever now, but that's not my goal. So if we go back to my goal is to grow. A 3x6 makes honey. That doesn't make bees. It can make bees, but that's not what that structure is designed for. Right? So if I'm trying to make bees, do I just continue the course, refresh the starter finisher, and just keep pumping out queen cells?
Well, that's a possibility too. All right. And that's where I was saying well, here's the other thing you can do, Bob. Do you have another piece of equipment that will hold 6 frames?
Not 6. I've got tons of 5 framers. And
Okay.
The seven queen pay for themselves. You could buy another license nuke box. Come on,
oh,
they're gonna pay themselves.
I could buy a lot of stuff.
No, well, license. Yeah, there's
Yeah, but I think the key though is to use the equipment you have, Bob. I mean,
yeah.
the trick there is your goal was to fill the boxes you have. So,
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you want to go buy it, you can buy it. But I mean, work to your goal. Work to what your original goal was. So, you know what? You know what the 6-frame nuke did. So let me ask you this question. What if you were to take that license box, move it somewhere else, but take the brood and everything out of that box and use your 6-frame for one of your nukes that you're about to drop a queen in, and you know, just take one of your 5-frame boxes and try a 5-frame starter finisher. I think you'll be.
I also have another
just
10-frame license.
Yeah, so you're warming up down there, are you not?
Well, you wouldn't know it today, but next week it's supposed to be in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, so I mean, you're only going to kind of keep getting warmer. I would ask you the question, why don't you try a 5-frame starter finisher? Just make sure you've got emerging brood and make sure that you have a box bubbling with bees, like right full. And I think you'll be just fine.
Right. I could technically put another 6-frame license box. I've got another 6-frame super, just not another 6-frame top and bottom. So I could add brood over an excluder, right?
You could.
And let it hatch down. Or maybe that's not a good idea. I don't know.
I think it's if you won't get push on with this, I will invest $50 express delivery, job done in a week time. Today you order, next weekend you have in the house. You make a quick explosion. A week later you got queen cells in that inside without say anything. That's what I would done. To this nuke, the starter what you have now, I will, when you pull your queen cells out, what I will done straight away, make sure you got some ready already frames where you know is already for emerging brood, and you have to check, like Michael Palmer said, you use your tools, hive tools for checking, not for just to pull the frames out. You could check that, or you get knife and whacking out 2 frames, loose bees inside, and put one of the frame in the starter. So you will actually, like James has actually just mentioned, fill up more loose bees inside. So, and then you will get maybe another hit. You will have bees. You will have new queen cells in it. Another 2. That's what.
That's also another issue that I'm having, that we've had a discussion with, that we haven't really talked about on stream. I am resource poor in my colonies. I've got a few colonies that are doing great, and then I've got several that aren't doing good, which is how this whole reset the apiary started this year, right? Yeah. And it doesn't matter what I do with them. And Michael said it today. Well, if you're equalizing, and there's a reason why those colonies are small.
Yeah.
Because the queen's failing, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
that sounds familiar.
Yeah. So my goal, that's exactly what I was thinking. When I was sitting there quiet and Ian was jabbing me with the stick, talking about this is the quietest Bob's ever been. I'm like, yep, a smart, and I said it in chat. I said a smart man knows when to listen and when to speak, right? So that was, and he says, I get that. So that was the thing. So now these nukes that I have outside, which the 2-framers, that some have a couple queens walking around in them, but I still haven't seen eggs. And funny thing was, one of them today that I was in, that I know for a fact I put a marked virgin in, because every one of those 2-framers I made got a marked virgin.
Yeah.
Well, today it had a virgin in it, and it wasn't marked, and it didn't have any queen cells in it when I put it over there. So don't know with that one. But as soon as they start laying, those queens, those colonies that are sucking out there, they're getting a new queen. One way or another, they're getting one of those. So that's kind of the
right.
Yeah, that's the process. I've got to get my boxes making the resources that I need to be able to make the cell starter, right? Oh, he just disconnected. But it's a sustainable apiary, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing when you make a nuke or a split or whatever, it needs everything. It needs all stages, right? It needs a queen, it needs nurse bees, needs hatching brood, and it needs food, right? It's got to have all stages. Otherwise, there's a delay in getting that up, right? So if you don't have cap brood, you don't have brood hatching out, right? You don't have the brood hatching out that's going to become your foragers that are going to help bring the food in for the queen that's laying, and so it's a big circle. And if any one part of that circle is broken, well, that's what I need to get fixed, right? I need to get the queens so they can build up, so I can steal the resources to make more colonies.
But that takes time.
Right.
Yes, that's right.
And that's the hardest part I have, is the patience issue, right?
No.
Yeah.
What Mike Palmer mentioned, if you equalize them, as soon as you start get the flow going, and you start equalize them properly, and mark the boxes. First of all, I will done mark the boxes which are very weak colonies. As soon as you got queens, then you change it. Don't do that too early, because what happens is you will have the power. All of them will have superpower colonies because you put back the colonies in the power. When you when you got the power, you know which one colonies queens need to go. That's what I will change the colonies.
Well, I can tell just by looking at my. Now, keep in mind, we've had warm temperatures for a month and a half already, right? So I can tell right away which colonies are doing well and which colonies are really struggling.
Yeah, right? But Michael said the same thing as what kind of what I had said there last week is, you're a little bit small, but you haven't hit your flow yet. As soon as that flow starts to come, those things are going to explode, Bob. Right? And if you've got a new queen in there that is ready to go when that flow comes on, she too is she's gonna go into like emergency mode type thing, and she's gonna be laying up a storm in there.
One day, Bob, one day it will be raining. Just example, one day it will be raining, or maybe weather will be miserable, and suddenly in 2-3 days coming very hot. You know what happened? They will end up on a tree, or you never see them again. They will go so quick, you don't even manage. Imagine what will happen inside the hive for the last 5 days. That's how quick it is.
I know they're backfilling. I know they were backfilling before this little cold front.
Exactly. So before we go down a rabbit hole, I got to give Sebastian a bit of a hard time.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, I would have loved to ask Michael a few questions there, but you didn't put a link up, buddy.
Oh, we didn't. I didn't want to put links on their chat because I don't want to get too many people jumping in there. I was thinking Bob maybe send you. I forgot about asking him to send you up, but because it was, we will do next time. I promise, James. We will make another chat with Michael. But it was I didn't want to
watch
too many because I want to get. I will tell you something. I want more get from Mike and Ashby. Ashby is a new beekeeper and he's growing very. He's got setting like yourself. A very good thing. I like it. And I know Ashby follow Mike Palmer and all of them. So
I'm just giving you a hard time. So I've been reading a lot of Michael's work and following a lot of Michael's work, and I've incorporated a lot of his stuff. He is an absolutely incredible beekeeper. So
he's been beekeeping since I was 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say my problem is of course I'm driving back across to Alberta, and every now and then I'd have to pull over and send a quick text, and then I could go again, and it's like but no, it was great, and that just goes to show when you reach out, to these beekeepers with knowledge like that, they're willing to share it all, and that's incredible.
Well, the thing is, was to tell you something, guys, you don't know. I watching Richard, and I was talking to Richard a little bit. We messaged each other note, and it was so interesting for me. Richard said, "You contact Mike. Mike will every time help you. Every time, he's a so nice person." He said, "You're not gonna find another beekeeper like Michael." And what I done, I just dropped message to him, and he said he sent me bits and pieces. Then about 2 months later, I'm doing something in the kitchen, and my phone's ringing. I was like, "Bloody, who is this?" And as Michael called me actually, and it was interesting. We were talked for 2 hours. 2 hours we were talking about bees, and he gave a lot of tips, guys. And Mike is absolutely an amazing person. I love to him because he said he's in October coming into UK. I was waiting for that time to come and meet him in person. He's just an incredible man.
Like I said,
I follow his method, breeding queens. So where you go?
I had a guy call me today.
I reference back his work lots and lots.
I had a guy call me today that bought queens from me last year and was asking, did I have queens? I said, well, I've got some in the incubator. He's like, oh, you're grafting. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying grafting this year. So we got to talk, and he said, oh, I got this guy that is retiring from beekeeping, and I'm buying 300 colonies from him. Now, this is he's going from 8 to 308 colonies.
Oh, and he has no idea what he's getting into.
And I wanted to tell him that because everybody that I've talked to that has done a massive purchase jump like that has fallen on their face. And you want to inspire, right? You want to be like, hey, good for you, man. If that's what you're going to do and you can do it, go for it. But at the same time, you have to be a realist. This is your second year beekeeping. You haven't even experienced all the problems you can experience with your 8 colonies. And now you're going to multiply that with 300 additional ones.
If he was retiring and I was going to do something like that, you know what? I'll buy it all off you, and I understand you're retiring, but I want you to work with me for a year or 2 years.
Oh, you're breaking up, James. I think you hit a bad spot.
To understand what it is you're doing would be a whole lot easier to go. Now, I don't want to see anybody fall on their face. I'm gone.
No, you're going in and out, though.
Or can you hear me?
You're going in and out.
Oh, I was right beside a bunch of power lines. I was just going to say, I really hope he's successful, but, I myself, I don't think I could jump from where I'm at to 300 hives. That would be a real challenge. So
you got to get your systems in place.
Unless he's got
absolutely
8 colonies, you can do 8 colonies
skills, which I hope
20 minutes.
Does.
Yeah, I mean, oh, James, you're coming in and out, bro.
Exactly. There's a huge.
Oh, he dropped out. But the
yeah,
you definitely have to, as you grow, you have to alter your plans, right, on how you can manage and your time. And I've got it set up right now that with the amount of colonies that I have, that I can go in basically a row a day, right? I can do one hive stand a day and manage. And then when I treat, I can treat them all.
That's what I will. Hello, Alex.
Hi.
That's what I will do. I will equalize them. Especially the floor is on the way now. I will equalize them first. Mark numbers. Which hive need to be changed to queen. Soon as the end of the floor come, knock the queens out. Change the queens. Put the queen cells in. Where you go. When the summer come floor, your bees will be in fully still power. You will be you will have no drop down, Bob. Your bees will be on a level, be
Right.
level all of the hives, and you will still breeding your queen cells. You still will be doing works in there, and you can have honey as well.
Yes,
that's what it is.
I mean,
Quality.
that's where I'm at with some of my colonies. Are like I got some that are in triple deep with the super on top right now, trying to get them to give me the resources, right? Give them room so she can lay those eggs and get me some brood so I can make some adjustments. Because right now,
That's why I will
hard.
make adjustments. That's what I will make adjustments. I will took a like adding for the I would say not crappy one, but I would say the weaker one, very weaker one. I will add them frame in and just see what happened next one more week. You will see what's going on in there. And
Yep.
a week later, give a whack another one frames from some different hives. You could get a stronger hives, get them one each. What happen is you reduce the swarming. You building your quality, you building your numbers. You make your hives get level. All of your hive will be balanced.
Right.
And then you know which one queens are not good. Then you take the queens out after floor, straight after floor out, and then requeen, put new queens in there, and then you'll be in the summer. You'll be get again powerful colonies.
Yeah, our dearth
That's
is
how I would
brutal
done,
here.
but that's up to you. You know, that's how I would done it.
Well, the thing is, I only have a few hives that I can even use to equalize right now.
That's
So
okay.
it's
Even if you have two, that's good.
Yeah, but when I've got 2 that I can equalize, but I've got 25, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, but you could do every week something. Every week
Right.
something slowly. Don't don't take too many frames out. Just take it slowly. So if you take it two brood frames, they can give it one each.
Oh, and I didn't even tell the story, the whole story. He was talking about getting an agricultural loan to buy all that stuff of like 300,000, and
That's major money. Must be a bank manager, is it?
well,
Bob,
huh?
I would tell him get help from an actual beekeeper, somebody who's willing to teach him. That way, he might avoid face planting.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
that's hard, right? Because these guys got their aspirations very high, right? And you have to be on your game. I mean, and when you're going from 8 colonies to 308, you got to really be on top of your mic control, all of that stuff, right? And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lisa.
yeah, well, he went from 5 to 400, like you said, with help, right? With help. So,
Yeah, I would definitely tell him like get help, get a mentor, or you're gonna like might not tell him to his face that he's gonna face plant, but give subtle hints.
Now, keep in mind why he called me for queens, right? So that shows you that the mentality, right? It's like, and I'm not saying I've been guilty of it too, right? Putting the cart before the horse type of thing, to where I just want to get to the end and don't take the steps in the middle to be able to get to the end, right? So that's
I'm also very guilty of that. The good thing about me is that I don't have a lot of money, so it keeps the reins in.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'd already be at 2.
I've got stuff that I could be ordering right now, and I haven't. It's like, well, I know I have 100 frames that are still in the case for deeps that haven't even been ever put in a hive, right? Still in my honey house. And then I've got frames that I had on colonies that they never drew out that are still in boxes, right? And then I've got some frames that are drawn out that can go right on boxes. So it's like, do I need frames? Yeah. If every piece of my equipment had bees in it, I would need more frames. But at this point, I don't need frames. So I could go buy them right now. I could order them, have all these frames delivered in, and then what? They'll sit in my building, right? So it's like, then I've got my money. Let's say emergency comes up. Now my money's tied up in frames sitting in my porch instead of
not generating money for you.
Right. So that's where I'm at now. That's why I'm trying to be a little bit sparing on buying stuff. And
Bob, I got a question for you.
mm-hmm.
Do you have in the United States something like sponsoring hives?
I've seen people do that to where businesses or, if you go into a market, they can pay for the colony, for the equipment, and then their name gets on it, right?
I'll give you guys tip in here. So in UK, it's very, in UK, Wales, and Scotland, it's quite popular this now. The last few years, I observed this is quite heavily popular. So they have like, you pay £300, which is what, $400 for the year. So, and then they have the sign of the business or school or whatever. They run about that much.
I can even laser etch their name right in their colony.
Yes, and then what you give them? You give them 4 ants. So, example, some of the people give 50 jars of 4 ants, small 4 ants jars with a label with their name, the school. You print them for the name school or business.
They can fundraise it or something.
Yeah, so they could sell the honey, whatever. That's not your business, but you extracting them. You give them 50 jars of honey. They could come in twice in April with you, or once. Some people do once, some people do twice. So they come into you. They pay you the $400 or £400, say just example. And they have the 2 times a year visit, and plus they have the 50 small 4 ounce jars. That's what they do, 4 ounce. Some people they do bigger, but
right,
but they do less. But they run about 4 ounce. They work up, run about how much honey you could have from the hive roughly, and you looking after the colony. So basically,
you guys are gonna make me open up a box here.
You supply. You understand, Alex, what I'm saying? You supply them hive, you supply them bees. They pay for that all, and then they just got the honey, and they come and visit and see how the bees doing and all that stuff.
So I don't know if Earl is watching, but I did something for Earl today because he ordered a personalized hive tool, and I had to wait on something to come in the mail before I could finish it. So it took a few extra days to ship. So I did something for him, and I did this for him. And let's see what's the best side to show it. So it's a jar, right? Mason jar.
Yeah.
Nice.
Special limited edition local raw honey. It's just a glass, right? I mean, I tried to find a lid for the top. I was actually going to fill it with some of my honey and send it to him, but I couldn't find a lid that would go on the top. But I did that with my laser today.
Grocery stores should have those lids.
Yeah, it was just like a jelly jar or something that they sell down here. But my mason jar lids wouldn't screw on it for some reason. I tried it, but I thought that was just a little extra thank you, And the hive tool, once I got my spray in that I needed. So came out pretty good.
That looks cool.
So that I got all the hive tools done today. Got all that stuff done. It's all packaged now. I just did this as a little extra thing because he had to wait a little bit longer. And now I've got to retape his box back because I just cut it open to show everybody on YouTube.
I mean, it's nice. It was worth it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I try to do some stuff like that every once in a while when I can. I've had those hive tools on ever since I started the site. I'd only sold 2 hive tools. I mean, they're not expensive hive tools, right? But then if you hit the drop down, you can get it personalized, and nobody had done it. And then I had my bottling line there. My laser was off on the side there. And then all of a sudden, back to back to back, I had 3 personalized ones. So I've been lasering. So
Are those laser etchers expensive?
I don't know. The one I got was probably $1,500 for the one that I've got. Now, some of the ones like you see Tim and like Matt and Sarah's, they've got very expensive ones. Mine is not that expensive, but it just depends on what you're trying to do with them, right? I do very small stuff, usually like hive tools and signs. Flower Street Farms got a sign that I did.
You can make like the front of a hive.
Yeah, I can. Here, let me grab something. Here, these are just like
brood boxes.
So these are pieces that I was doing, but they didn't come out like I wanted them. So I basically just chucked them to the side and use them as scrap to test, right? So that was a skep hive, but you see where it says honey right there. So I use it to test the wood, get it lined up, you know. You can see when I do bottle openers and I set up a line and, you know, where I'm putting it. This was the state of South Carolina flag that I did. So it'll do small stuff. It takes a good while to do it, but it does work. So so I've been looking to maybe, I don't know, expand that business. I don't know. We'll see. It's just all about time, right?
That's a good stuff.
Having the time to do everything. So it started off, I was doing the lasering in the winter, right? I started in the winter, so I could do a few things here and there. And then, you know, now the beekeeping is back in. It's like, and now I've got the website and packing and shipping and all that stuff. So it's always something going on all the time. I did get all my hive tools or my grafting tools in that I ordered. I ordered a ton of them because I was tired of looking for an extra one, right? So I just bought a bunch of them. So now we got them. Now, if I just make a queen per one of these, I'll be good.
Alex, I hope you enjoyed that talk with Michael.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got quiet, you know, on there. Ian was poking me. He's like, "This is the quietest Bob's ever been." I'm like, "Well,
I did make surprise, are you?"
Well, you did give me a heads up, but I didn't know he was going to come in like right away, you know.
No. I told him to come a little bit later.
How much for 10,000 one pound classic jars done up, Bob? I would be here for for a long time doing those jars with my setup. I think that took me about, each side of that took about 35 minutes on my machine, the way I had it.
But you said Cayman is down there, so it's my, I don't know. Oh.
Yeah, so we actually had started on Sebastian's channel before Cayman started, right?
1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour before, yeah.
1 hour before. And then Cayman, you know, he doesn't really schedule his. He just is like, I'm going live tonight.
He just turn up. Yeah.
So it's good, you know, he does his thing.
Yeah, but we got 30 people, 28, 30 people quite all the time.
Yeah, but how many people know that they missed, well, Dan didn't, I saw him on your stream, that they missed Michael Palmer, right? And Mike Berry and Ashby. So it's and now that I know Ashby's only like an hour and a half north of me, and I'm gonna save him some money. I'm gonna save him some money on that syrup now. So that should help his operation out.
There is a sugar refinery in Montreal. I could go look up, see if I can get cheap sugar from them.
Well, what they do is with Domino, so they load the tankers up, right? And the tankers go and deliver, and whatever is left in the tanker, they pump that back into their holding tanks. So when I come, I'm getting what's been returned back in the tanks, right? So it's basically, I hate to say waste, but it's waste for them. Even though it's never, but not for the bees. I mean, you can go there, there'll be bees all over the ground licking it up. You know, it's pretty great. So I got 11 in the incubator and 7 in the colony right now. So I've got 18 cells. And
yeah, so I hoping hit tonight 500 subscribes in my channel. So I think I don't know how many is in there, but I think it's 30 something, 35 I have left to go on there.
35 what?
Yeah, something like 30 to get the 500. I'm pretty sure I will have this because I got over 100 viewers was in the looking at Mike Palmer live chat. So
you had 100 views, right?
Yeah, 100 viewers in there. There will be subscribes from that. I'll tell you.
Well, we're gonna send people over there as now that Cayman's done. People are gonna grab a drink, take a piss, and they're gonna be like, what's happening on YouTube? Oh, there's a no life beekeeping chat, and then they'll start coming over here.
But I don't know. Mike, about Alex and Bob, I try and get 2-3 days ahead minimum. But I did it on Monday. I remember I approved on Monday when you have chat with Lee and Charlie was in there when I popping up from work.
Now Charlie, if he pops in, he's going to be pissed. He didn't get he didn't know that Michael Palmer was on.
I told him coming in. Remember, I said coming in the chat will be here. Mike Berry and Ashby, and the surprise was just making it like last.
Well, you got me. You got me down here, right, Sebastian? Then you got Mike Berry and Ashby up in here, and then you got Michael Palmer way up here. So when nobody knows Michael Palmer is coming, then they'll miss it because they'll be like, Bob's on there. We see Bob everywhere. Oh, well, Mike Berry's there. I'll probably check it out. And Ashby, I'll check out and see what they're saying. And then if you would have said, well, Michael Palmer's going to be on here, you would have had a ton more people. Ton more.
Oh, well, yeah, I get it. But
you know what? You rewarded the people that watch all the time.
Of course. Absolutely. And this is why I done this. I could done that in 2 hours before changing put his name on there, but which I didn't want to do it. I want to do surprise.
Right. It was a surprise to me because I talked to you an hour beforehand, and you said,
for me,
I got a special guest. I'll tell you, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah, that's what I told you. Yeah,
and I didn't. Matter of fact, I even showed up 5 minutes late to make an entrance.
It was really nice. And it's not just Michael Palmer, Mike Berry and Ashby was talking about all of these, and you guys all have listened, which is very, very interesting for me. I was really pleased. Michael did turn up, because he, we know, I know him over 2 years now, and since I talked to him, I changed beekeeping completely different way where I shoot. Quality, not numbers. Numbers doesn't give you anything.
Right.
I'm pretty close to Michael Palmer. I might be able to see him if I ever get my passport.
Yeah.
I should do that.
You should, yeah. I'm pretty sure if you ask Mike Palmer, could you come in for helping him for 2 days, or even if you book a hotel somewhere and stay there for 2 days and help him in doing, get him a lunch and work with him on his April. I'm pretty sure he will be happy to do that. He's not a young man. He's 70s. He's
I'm only
close
about
to 80s.
2 hours from him. two and a half hours.
Not far. Not sure.
Yeah, that'd
I'm
be every
pretty sure.
Saturday. I'd be getting up at 6, be there by 8. What?
Yeah.
Bring him a biscuit. Okay, what are we
I'm
doing
pretty
today,
sure-
Mr. Palmer? Yes, sir, Mr. Palmer.
Alex,
Whatever you say, Mr. Palmer.
I'm sure Bob will be on the ski already, man. He will go be
yeah.
on the ski already. He'll
Thank
be
you,
there.
Mike. It's man, I tell you what, I try to learn from everyone. You know I talk a lot. That's
Nothing free, Mike. Bob, nothing free.
Oh no. Well, I mean, it for like listening to Michael Palmer, and just not to pat myself on the back, but when we were talking about the genetics and the whole red hair, and we're trying to breed for all red-headed babies, he agreed. No, it doesn't work that way. So that's my only point. Like when people are saying, "Oh, crush the queen and put a new queen in there," doesn't mean she's not going to be mean. The next one or something like that. So
yeah, that's a very good point. So you could see it was in Cholton in horse riding and horse jumping in one of the biggest in the world. There was Irish St. Patrick Days, and horse what he won actually is a friend of mine, which is a man is he spent thousands and thousands of pounds on horses, and he always believed cross is one of the biggest thing in everything, and it doesn't matter is it horses, it does bees or anything or cows.
Right.
Cross number one. Pure breed doesn't work, and that's true.
They pick from the best that they have available.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think if, at least in my mind, if I'm wrong, you guys definitely thrash me, because I know you will anyway. But okay, so let's say, Alex, when you're looking at your apiary and you're doing an assessment, you already pretty much know which hives are your traditionally best hives, right?
It's pretty evident. Just by the amount of bees.
Yeah, and you go there, so it's that constant reevaluation. In if you're grafting off of that queen, right? You're trying to make all of your other queens and hives pretty close to that hive. They might never be exactly the same. There's some might actually be better than that one, right? But it's that constant reproducing what that colony's doing, trying to do, right? That's why you just keep, and it's every year. So let's say you graft a queen and you put her in this weak colony and she does good, but she's still not doing as good. Well, then you're still going to be reevaluating whether or not you're going to requeen that colony again, right? Well, maybe she's just still not as good. So I think it's that continuous improvement, but the best stock to pull that from is your stock, right?
Yeah.
Because those bees at your apiary did very good in that yard. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I mean, because what I found last year, and trust me, I'm not saying anybody's got bad queens or different queens or whatever, but the queens that I got, like in my nukes that came from a different apiary, the queens that I brought in from different apiaries, and different genetics that I've tried to introduce into my yard, for me, did not work. It didn't work. They're just nowhere near, not even close to the production that the colonies, my good colonies, are. And all those colonies, the good colonies that I have, are from queens that were from doing just either a walk-away split or adding a frame of bees off of one of my queens that I already had. You know what I'm saying? And allowing them to make a queen, because obviously I wasn't grafting at that point. But the thing is that those are still the best queens.
Yeah.
So
my choice for breeding was pretty limited. I only had 3 hives last year,
But you're going to pick
522.
the best of those three, right? That's
Yes,
the one you
that's
go
what I
from.
did.
Yep.
Like,
and now next
and
year,
I only had like one queen like was poorly mated, and she got replaced. I just bought a new one.
but then
Is
next year, right?
I have much more choice.
Now you have more choices from your stock. So that's the thing. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like honestly, I'm starting over this year. I've got bees, but I'm starting over. It's basically just rebuilding the franchise, right?
So my method is always a strong believe the spring. So I have already marked 2 hives already, and my 2 apiaries where the potential will be the breeders for this season.
Well,
I'm going looking tomorrow. Well, today, next one, which is one of my biggest one, and I will see what's going on over there. But over there is 15 hives, and every single of them is a pretty power. Even nooks over there, they are huge power. So I will be a little bit confused over there. Which one going for that breeding?
well, you can't lose in that situation, right?
No, absolutely no.
So that's a good thing. But when you're limited and you're starting, you're just always looking for the best ones. Whatever your best one is, that's the one you're going to pull from.
But I'll tell you something. I have Denmark backfast.
Right.
And come from Denmark backfast, and 3 queens, but 2 of them, they are horsepower. They really I'm shocked. They already so much brooders in there, which I'm really scared of it, because that could be goes for swarm. So the way I'm going to do now is just go equalize. Manage next time go open the hive. I will try equalize straight away. Don't let them to thinking about swarm. Because they are absolutely just ahead from every beast.
Right.
And backfast is like that. Backfast is changing up. The dark queens. They're not like Italian. They light, very light. They're quite dark queens there. So will be interesting.
And that was the other thing that some people can do it. This year I could not do it. As far as the different genetic lines, personally, for me, it made it very hard to determine if a colony was doing well or if they were not doing well. I mean, obviously by numbers, you can look at them and see, but different breeds react differently, right? So like a Carniolan looks totally different coming into spring than an Italian does. So do I have a really good Italian and a poor Carniolan, or is that a good Carniolan and my Italian should be actually better than what it is? Or there's no baseline really.
So Alex, you remember my 5 years old queen? You remember 5th season this year? You remember my video I mentioned before?
Yep.
Yeah.
So what Mike Palmer said about how old is ace queens?
Like the great queens just keep regenerating. They're raising their own new queens.
Them, right?
My Nook, she's on the 6 frames Nook. It's 3 full brood was in there, and 4 frame was just fresh brood. She's just laying fresh brood. This is 5th season queen will be, and she's just I don't know what to say.
Well, I still have one queen from 2020. I went to my apiary today to give them some sugar. One of my 2020 queens died. One hive died. I don't know yet, but I suspect it's because she was old. But I still have one of my queen that's from 2020, and she's still alive. I'll probably replace her anyway, or if they don't do it by themselves by the time like spring gets here. But like she's like 3 years old. That's going on 4. That's pretty amazing. Not the ideal, but still, it's pretty amazing.
Don't replace her.
No, don't replace
her. Put her in the nuke.
Yes, absolutely.
And then replace her in that colony. But put her in the side. Let her keep making brood for you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Brood
yeah.
factory. Free brood
Or graft
factory.
from her.
Yeah, I already have a brood factory set up. I prepared it last year, but like I left a question, but you didn't have time to ask Mr. Palmer. I
Yeah.
asked like if undrawn frame would slow me too much for brood factory, but considering like the flows I have basswood and it makes a lot of nectar, so it makes the bees draw a lot of comb really quick. So maybe I'll try it. I don't have any choice. Like I have the brood factory, I just am low on comb.
I think you'll be really good on that because I have the same as you, and I know they're building frames like crazy, just
Ah,
absolutely
good,
crazy.
good.
So what I will, like Bob just mentioned, I will put the queen in a nook. All of the old queens I will move to the nook, and then I will drop the new queens inside in that house, and the old one keep in the nooks. They will just produce you nooks. They will produce you brood,
Yeah,
brood,
because I
brood, brood.
lost an old hive, so I could put her in that hive that lost. Like the comb's still good, and I
Yeah,
cut it since everything was frozen. There's no rotting in it, so there's a lot less job for the
and
bees
you
to clean up all the rotting crap.
and you and you imagine sadly, hope no, but sadly in August, your hive coming queenless. What happened? What you could do? You got all queen in the nook. You could move her in that hive, and they will accept
Yeah,
her. That's free. Your free brood factory, and also queen for the winter. Because if she
okay.
survive 3 years or 4 years, she will survive the winter. Because
Yeah,
she's already survived so many winters, and so she will know how to survive another winter. So yeah,
yeah.
that's how I would. That's how I would
That
done.
those two old queens are like they're tough as nail. I was impressed.
Well, they have to be toughest because the cold temperature what you have over there is really, really better. Bloody hell, in Canada, wow, that is that is
Like the
winter there.
field I went, like the field my bees are in, it's like a
Hmm.
small hill
Yeah,
in the middle of the field, and I had like waist high snow. So it was wet, so it was easy to compact. But if I didn't compact the snow enough, I would just sink all the way to my hip.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like 2 hours, almost 2 hours just to get to the bees,
Get to the beach.
stamping the snow because I
Yeah.
didn't think of buying snowshoes.
Hmm.
I'm buying those things next time.
Oh
It's
wow.
yeah, it's something else. Winters in Canada, I'll take UK wet weather over Canadian winters anytime.
Yeah, we got quite bad. It's here. It's how we say to you, the wet is a problem because
Okay,
water is the biggest killer for bees.
Yep. It washes all the pollen down.
Dump, yeah. That's one question. One thing you have washing pollen out. If he's pollen something coming up, popping up, washing out. Secondly, in the winter time, dump and the dampness in the water, they kill the bees.
okay.
So the temperature what we have here
Yeah,
is
we
going
each have our
down,
specific problems to
cold.
deal with.
So where you have cold, I believe that is very nice because they steady. They sit in a cluster, they moving around a little bit, moving in. They're living in normal climate. They basically like Ian have them in the barn. The
I
temperature
wish I
keeping
had
them
a bar.
pretty, and that is thing where the bees have steady. They're not eating too much. They and here there's like this. One day is like that, next one is cold or warm, and next one is very cold in there, and it's raining again for 2 weeks or
Mhm.
a week. So it's really difficult. If you don't watch the bees, don't lift the roofs up, don't check it up, you might be, asking for order the nooks already because you might have nothing left in there.
Okay, yeah.
So it you got like my Palmer said, you got to feed the bees properly, for the winter. But when you go winter coming like this, up and down like the sea in the storm, that's different story altogether. So a lot it's a lot of work need to be done right now. That's what I ask a question. That's what I did ask the questions for Mike, typical for Mike, when we should preparation the bees for the next winter. I know it's in spring, but I like this go pop up from Mike directly because that is the explanation how he was beekeeping in the May. It'll be 50 years beekeeping. I
Makes
don't think
sense.
so. I don't know. I don't know personally, Alex. Or maybe you know, but I don't know personally who been beekeeping for 50 years.
I don't.
And
I don't know anyone who beekeeps. I
you're
have to
running
teach
700
myself.
colonies. You're running 700 colonies. That's how many he's run.
Yeah, but I think he has run more than that at one time.
Oh
right?
yeah, 1,500.
Yeah, he's kind of.
That's pretty good.
You heard him say it tonight. Well, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this, so maybe he's thinking about retirement or scaling way down. Possibly.
Or hiring more people, let them manage it for him.
Oh, he does. He have people work for him. He have some students as well. So he have people there.
Okay.
But it's not easy to manage that. It's it's really difficult to get
Qualified help.
Yeah.
People that you trust, to run your livelihood.
Your queens, especially your queens, like Ian does with
Carrie, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
like an employee like that's pure gold.
Yeah, Ian, I know you're listening. Give Carrie a raise. She needs a raise.
Yeah,
that'll get him going.
Ian's back.
Huh?
Is Ian back? Is Ian back?
Oh, he's usually listening while he's doing work. He may not be now though, but it's thanks Fox Plus. I see the 148 people we got watching right now.
How many?
Yeah.
140.
148, yep.
Yeah. So
everybody go subscribe to LaGrange Bees and Beekeeping Gardening out of the UK. Subscribe. They need to get to 50.
Oh, subscribe to Bob's too.
Yeah, well, they're already here. Yeah, subscribe to mine too if you're new here.
And hit the like button.
A few times.
Yeah, hit the like button. Absolutely, guys. Yes.
I
will bring a next live. I'm not saying next one, but soon I will bring some surprise for you live on a live chat as well. Someone, good beekeeper as well. So got a couple of minds, man. So
you seem to know all the big beekeepers.
I know. Yeah. So yeah.
You need to get Lawrence on there because I want to talk with Lawrence.
If
you can get him.
I could get him, but to me, if you look in his content on the channel, he's most on. He do a lot of reviews, equipments. Massively does review equipments.
Lately, he's been doing a lot.
For me, it's not. I'll just tell you something. Not the learning curve. Review equipment. Just this is me, and
Right.
I like get learning more bees, no equipment, because we will be learning bees for another 50 years. If you beekeeping 50 years or 60 years, and you were still learning. So yeah, I could get him. I could try and get him. But I'm sure I know some good beekeepers as well in UK. One of them
came and just finished his chat. I thought it was over for a little while.
Maybe no, you finished early. I think you finished early, Cameron. Yeah.
The
Hope Sandler. Yes, I was live. I was live with. We have Mike Palmer. You could have a look. The live.
Yeah, I shared it out on my channel.
We asking question. He didn't see that was live. It was scheduling from since Monday on my account on my YouTube, so you should see that.
I gotta say, I wish I could have been there.
Yeah, But that was surprise, Alex. That was surprise. Only Bob know the hour before.
Oh,
So
Bob, I'm jealous.
Uh, well,
Bob
I
was
was like, what do you want me on there for if he's going to be on there? I felt like the weak link in that, but I did add a little bit to it, not a lot, because I was more
yeah.
focused on listening to what he had to say than trying to interject my thoughts into it.
Yeah, it
Only a
was
couple times.
nice.
Wise. See, you're a wise man.
That's why God gave you 2 ears and only one mouth, right?
Well, that was interesting anyway. It was interesting chat.
Yeah.
I got a few questions about spring management, swarms, and the queen's breeding. That's the brood management. It's a quite very interesting live chat. It was really, I believe, this one of the best ones probably I've ever done. And I will be going better next time. So, but I prepare myself quite a lot on this. So,
Like
but I'm
Michael
happy.
Palmer.
Yeah, Mike
Sorry,
Barrow.
Michael Palmer. Michael
Very.
Palmer. What's his name? Richard
Mike,
Noel, Ian, and Cayman are the four people I learned the most from when I started learning.
beekeeping.
Like
Yeah,
they were like the ones I went to
yeah,
learn from the most.
yeah,
Their channels are a gold mine if you want to start beekeeping.
yeah. Yeah, I learning from Cayman some bits and pieces as well. So everybody get some people just focusing on one person. I just give you tips, guys. Everybody got different way to learning, but I think two-way breeding queens. It's from Michael Palmer without question. Um, uh, how you operation on in April, how you manage your bees and everything, and splitting and everything is Bob. Obviously, not our Bob. This one, Bob Biner. Um, that's the most powerful for me. The brute factor for me is number one. Without question, is Mike Palmer. Ian is another one. How he managed bees of winter management, bees winter time, and how he get them in the spring, early in the spring. But without Patty, the bees have no power. That is true. And wherever you are, wherever you live, Patty it is the power for the bees. They all the nutrients they need and everything. They need a build. If you got
Right.
early spring coming, you have no power in the hive. You will not be nowhere. You miss the trick. You miss the honey. So, and especially when Ian got short time on the floor, short season. You Alex as well.
Hmm.
It's a quite really important. So I learned from them quite a lot. Also, I could tell you, Mike Burr, I learned from him the swarms, how he's setting the swarms, and also Ed as well. That's my channels I was watching all the time. Um, that's my,
It's you're right, Sebastian. It's important to get information from as
bits.
many beekeepers as you can and pick and choose what's
Yeah,
best for you.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
It,
Don't pick and brain everything from one because you don't know the actually details direct back the you not put the fingers in the hive, so you don't know what he does extra, what they're saying in there.
what didn't
It's
make
a
the
lot.
video?
Yeah,
Hmm.
doesn't see that on the video. So that's a little different things as well. You need picked up like you just mentioned, Alex. You need picked up things from the great beekeepers, and you will put that in the apron. You will see how that work for you. Maybe not work for you. Maybe you need to change something else. I got a couple of friends and I follow them as well. I got a friend in Poland. He's breeding queens as well. So sometimes he give me tips if I don't know. If I stuck somewhere, I will ask him questions as well. And then that's how you is communication with friends and the beekeepers and all that stuff. And that's how it works. Without good communication with them, this is example I give you surprise and Mike Palmer coming on your table. If Bob remember, I mentioned about I think 4 weeks ago, Mike Palmer, and people just listen and think they what you're talking about. Well, no, I know him. I know because I follow him and I believe this is the people what I should follow. Is his method working in there? especially queen breeding and methods and how you get the brood factories and working run and all that stuff. His method is just incredible. People using, like he mentioned, people using it around the world, and that's the way it is. Good night, Lee.
Lee's out.
Who's the Mark Miller said, was it?
Have you listened to Terry Combe?
Who's that?
Well, I take
No.
that to no then.
No. No, I didn't, Mark.
But that's the thing. I mean, see, we learn stuff just from the chats and stuff. Maybe somebody we haven't, like
No.
you asked me today. I didn't know who Ashby Miller was before I saw him on the show. He's an hour and a half north of me, right? Or so. But I didn't know who he was, but I'm glad to have met him. Huh?
Neither did I.
So
that's one more beekeeper I can watch videos from and learn from.
Yep, absolutely. And I think it's important to remember when you're watching YouTube videos, whether it's mine, Sebastian, Alex, whoever's videos you're watching, is that you have to also see, like, let's say we watch a Cayman Reynolds video today. What he's doing today may not be the proper timing for me to do it. Doesn't mean that it's not an effective thing, right? For where you're at. So, like, I mean, if I see Cayman doing something because he's north of me, I probably already should have done it already, right? So may not be effective right now. And I found that a lot when I found that out the hard way my first years, right? Watch a video, oh, I can do this, and then you realize, oh well, no, I can't either. I should have already done that,
Yeah, it's absolutely. I sometimes watch it. Sometimes him on the weekend if I get time, I watch him as I came on lives, but he never scheduling them like before. He was scheduling them. Now he doesn't just turn up and make a live. So for me, it's really difficult to organize myself to be on there, listen things. So for me, it's just I'm planning things in my head,
right?
So. And I know I might have to start work days now, so we don't know. Another 2 weeks maybe. We'll see what happens.
Oh, you might be going to days?
Yeah, I got an interview coming on Thursday.
Well, then you'll be like, when are you going to work your bees?
Hey, look this.
Cross your fingers.
No.
Oh, more money, yeah.
Lot more money.
More money.
But we'll see. But no, I'm not looking for that yet. But I like to stay where I am now. So because I could do bees, I could do a lot of stuff. I could grow my vegetables and things in there. Relax sometime, and it's not when you go work in the days. You're working on 2 different shifts in the morning and afternoon. So it's really difficult to me. Will be difficult to me manage things.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just seeing Dan's coming here. Yeah, absolutely. It's about location. So, if you're watching someone south of you, like if you watch me and I'm doing something, doesn't mean you need to do it, but it might put that in your head. Well, Bob did this and it worked, and he's about 4 weeks ahead of me, so I would be doing this about this time next month. That type of thing.
Like what I did too is like I made a list of all the beekeeping tips I thought were relevant. Like there's a PDF, not a PDF, but a text file, and it's pages and pages of tips, YouTube links. And it's like it's separated in categories, like raising queens or making patties. Like I have 3 or 4 different patty recipes.
You're way more organized than me.
But say Ian's recipe from scratch, or Cayman Reynolds 5-pound batch with the Man Lake substitute as a base.
Yeah,
it uses gelatin to make sure water comes in. Anyway, all sorts of It's basically an amalgamation of everything I learned that I thought was relevant.
Well, Michael Palmer, we was talking about Man Lake a little bit on the other stream.
Ultra B, that's what I was thinking.
And he was talking about the Ultra B and how he made the same patty every time. And this year he made it and it was soupy. And I know exactly why it was soupy, because every year before this year, Man Lake's bags were 50-pound bags. And this year they were 40-pound bags. So if he in his mind said, okay, I know they're 50
one
pounds
bag
and I'm dumping 5 bags, let's say, in the mixer, and I'm adding this much sugar. Well, if you make the whole recipe the same and you actually have less pollen sub, then it's going to be soupy, right? Yeah. So I was thinking that in my head. I'm like, well, they did go down on the amount,
Bob,
not the price, but the amount.
But you remember I mentioned about the quality, Chinese food quality. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what we're talking about. So people just these days, some people just talking about numbers, selling numbers, doesn't selling quality.
Yeah.
Which is basically, oh, okay, just for tomorrow, we just got for one time we use it and that's it, and we don't need to use it again. That's what they do. It's a lot more. It's really difficult to get quality stuff now.
Right.
So.
Well,
the only quality we will get when you make yourself simple.
And that's where I think in the long run, if you're selling queens and stuff like that, that's where you get the reputation, right? So when people buy a queen from you, you get that call like I did today. Hey, do you have any queens? Or, something like that. Now, I didn't make those queens he bought last year, but it's the same thing. He knew he could get queens here, right? So
yeah. You could drop a link. 1 second, I need to drop a link.
Dropping a link to your channel?
Yes. You got it.
I know Lee had dropped it already one time.
You could drop again.
I might have to make you an admin. Hold on, if you're not already.
One sec.
I haven't seen your post come up yet. But because a lot of times YouTube will block links on itself,
Yeah.
But yeah. So Michael Palmer's recipe, the recipe he gave out, he may not have gave all the ingredients, but I was making it the way he makes it, but I had a problem down here with it drying out, right? So I went with Ian's method with the coconut oil and the flaxseed oil and the pollen sub, and it worked pretty well.
No, the things are popping up. Things are not popping up.
Just make a comment, and I'll make you an admin, and then you can do it.
You could drop. You could try and drop a link again. See what happens.
No, I haven't dropped a link. Just make a comment in the chat and on YouTube,
so he can make you admin,
and then you can put a link. And then I'll be able to get that straightened out here. See, then you'll have a blue wrench. A blue wrench. I'm surprised. I don't know where Charlie is. I'm going to rag him on.
He's managing his single brood chambers.
He's single brood chamber managing right now. Let me see. Did you hear him? He's like, you already have queen cells in the incubator? I'm like, yes, sir.
Yeah, but he's in Vermont. He's not that far south from me. So he's got snow.
He's probably buried in it right now.
Where is it? What area is it?
So what?
What area he is?
He's in Vermont, northern Vermont.
North Vermont.
Yeah.
Definitely have snow.
Yeah, he has snow.
definitely snow there. So he's got like Mike Palmer snow.
I don't know how much snow there is in Vermont. I know there's quite a bit. I don't know if it's as much as Quebec. We're about, like I said, I'm about 2 hours north, 2.5 hours north from him. Sebastian, you should write a comment in the YouTube channel so you can. So Bob, can you make you an admin? You'll be able to post.
I did
your
make
own.
comment.
In YouTube? I haven't seen it.
I don't see it either.
Yeah, it's there. It's I'll make you again.
Another 2 hours and 50 minutes to home, James said. Are you like banned on YouTube or something?
Oh, I'm in there.
I saw something pop up and it disappeared.
I don't see anything over there from you. Let me see.
I'm in
Just
there
type
now.
hi or something. Hello.
I did it. I just done it now.
Weird.
Now I'm seeing it in the StreamYard chat, but I'm not seeing it on YouTube.
Why is that?
I don't know. I'm in there now.
YouTube's
I don't know
messing with
why.
us.
Okay, there you go. I see a thumbs up. There we go. Beekeeping gardening.
If you're looking up top, I done it before.
There, now you're a moderator. I don't know what's going on with that thing, man. So now you can drop your link in there. Yeah, I see Sebastian. Yeah, there's Sebastian's channel up there.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes, go subscribe to that channel. I don't know what was going on. It acts funny like that sometimes. Maybe his post hasn't cleared customs yet.
I think he was trying to post the links. I think the reason is he was trying to post the links straight up instead of just typing a message.
Yes, that's right.
That's the problem. If you're not an admin, you can't post links. So you should have just have said just hi or something. That would have been the trick.
Yeah, I saw the thumbs up when you put the thumbs up. That's what I saw. But cool. So you're trying to dethaw still, Alex.
Oh yeah. Like I said earlier, there's still over 4 feet of snow in the field.
So I don't know how Sebastian has the temperatures he's got. And I'm trying to figure it out.
He's got lower temperature because of the Gulf Stream. It brings hot water from the tropics all the way to England, whereas we're on the east coast in Quebec. So
yes, depends, guys. So depends what wind we have. If we have north, just example northwest, we have all come from Alaska, from north, from Canada, very cold weather. But if we got southwest, we got from the stream coming in, traveling from United States, from South United States, and it's coming with lots of rain because it's coming from north on the sea. This is very funny, I don't get it, but weather sometimes is very bad. The best south wind is that come from Europe, then we got nice warm.
Well, we're gonna have a geography lesson here. So I'm looking at this map. All right. So you probably can't see it very well if you're on a phone or something like that. Let me see if I can zoom it in. Hold on. Nope, that ain't doing much better. A little bit better because we're talking about the UK right here, right? If you can see you probably can't see my even cursor right there.
Yeah, because the winds travel from west to east, and so there's the heat from the water. So the water rises from the tropics at the equator and goes north and west. So the hot currents hit England, Ireland, bringing water in the form of rain and a lot of heat. Whereas Quebec on the east coast, well, there's the whole continent to go through. So the cold from the Arctic comes down. So that's why Quebec is cold and England is hot, relatively speaking.
Well, you see
even if they're at the same height.
You see where this says the Bahamas?
Yeah.
Where that THE starts?
It's pretty small on my screen. Wait, I'll full screen it. I see Dominican Republic,
No,
Cuba.
north. Yeah. Go north where it says the Bahamas.
Oh, yes, I see it.
Okay, where that TH is right there, that's where I live.
Yeah, I'm
And-
way further north.
And yeah, but so is Sebastian.
Yeah, but I just explained why England has so much warmth.
Oh, what's going on here?
It's
We
the
go
heat
massive.
from
Give me a big map.
the hot water from the equator rises up all the way to England.
Yeah, all the time, and that is the biggest problem. And a lot of people doesn't understand the difference between us, and there's a massive.
Yeah, just with the the temperatures. So I know, like when we get a hurricane, it comes up like this and then goes north and goes over that way.
Exactly.
But
It's a similar principle, and that's why beekeeping in Quebec is much colder than beekeeping in England, but they have a lot more rain, a lot.
We got water, rain. Sometime in October or September could be rain and rain and rain and rain. So here is normal going with umbrella out, because without umbrella, you know, in September time, that's just normal. You have to go, you go shopping, you just take it with you because you get soaked.
you already know it's going to be wet, right?
Yeah, especially when there's black sky, black clouds coming, and then take it with you, because it doesn't stop for 5 minutes. Is when they come, you'll be basically you get like a shower, proper shower, from a house. And so, anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave in a minute.
Yeah, it's about time to get up for breakfast.
No, I'm
Well,
gonna
yeah,
have a bed.
it's 5 hours ahead of us.
3 o'clock. It's just 3 o'clock. So
3:00. Oh, you guys don't do
Yeah.
the daylight savings time thing.
no, I will get a bed, have a get sleep a little bit, and then go in the morning, get the bees. Got to be done the bees tomorrow or today. So because I'm work tonight as well, so I need to get bees done today. Make
Right.
sure is everything looking, and the magic stuff I need to add in. I got here. Actually, I got the box here. I will show you 1 second. Let me bring in something.
Tonight is supposed to get down to 32 or tomorrow night 32 degrees. Monday 30 degrees.
Right now it's only -3 Celsius. I don't know how much it is in Fahrenheit, but it's been hovering around freezing, slightly above, slightly below. And it's melting quite a bit. But
Happy pasta. I've seen what you call it. Lawrence uses that sometimes, the happy pasta.
what is it? I don't know. Oh, I don't know what it is.
It is a fondant.
Okay.
But it's funding with multivitamins and nutrients where bees need that.
Okay.
Bees take this really well in this time of year, and it's something there because I tell you what, they have normal funding, but I put that in there on each hive, one of them. Some of them have half. They're powerful, just got half of that. But I cut it in. I just put it in there. Less than 5 minutes. I'll try and lock the roof up. But I just said, oh, I'll have a look if they already on there. I just lift it up, and then how I cut a piece, the bees was all in there, everyone in there. I was like, whoa, that must be good because they're coming so quick to that. Do you know what I mean? Something must be in there. I did use that before. It was massive performance in that bees, but I didn't been like observing. Just checking what's the behind in there. And I did actually speak to the UK supplier about that, and he said to me, because they're running 350 colonies and they're using all of that right now on the hives.
You can't even get it in the States.
Yeah, you can't. No.
You could probably make your own fondant and add some rocket fuel in it.
Oh yeah.
That would be a good alternative.
Yep. No, rocket fuel coming in, Alex.
Huh?
Rocket fuel coming to you.
Oh, I
From the
have
coast.
some. I just can't feed it to my beavers right now. It's just too much snow, too cold. But
But
soon, mid-May, no, mid-April, I should
I
start feeding.
yeah, I order my from Canada. I order this what's it called, Bob?
Apis
What's the name?
Biologics.
Apis Biologics, yeah. So when they come, I will try and do something magic.
Can't even. Yeah,
Can't wait to try it.
Apipasta I put on Amazon. I know they got it on Amazon UK, but they don't have it Amazon here.
No, Zucan. You have a look on Zucan. Zukan, and that is. I will send you later a link to the web. They have in Spain this.
Mm.
This is producing it. It's producing in Spain.
Zucan apicola.
So something like that. Yeah, that's right.
Yep,
Yeah,
I got it right here.
that's in Spain. So there's 1 kilo. 1 kilo on there.
2.2 pounds.
Yeah. That'd be interesting in United States in the market. This. So here costs with the delivery to me box 14 kg, which is 28 pounds, cost me 46 pounds.
50 something dollars, $60, right?
So
Right
I'm sure if you take a lot of boxes, you can pretty sure that box costs you 20, 30 pound, well, 30 to $5. No more, I don't think so more. Maybe $40.
They got a bunch of different ones.
Yeah, they have different, yeah. Oh yeah.
Of course, they don't have any price up on here.
But it's you can send them email, drop an email to directly to Spain.
Send me a shipping container full.
Not really. Container. If there's container, that'd be probably that'd be 50 tons.
Yeah.
No.
Got fuel, Red Bull, and Ruffles. Now you guys just need to keep going for the next 2 hours and 46 minutes. We're waiting on you to come back all hyped up like Beavis and Butthead.
Who?
Yeah. I am the great Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole. You haven't... Sebastian may not know who Beavis and Butthead are.
Who is that?
It's a
cartoon animated show.
Oh, cartoon.
That was on MTV when they played music at some point.
Got 2 Red Bull guys. I need to keep going.
I was making my kids feel old yesterday. So when they were little, they were watching like Harry Potter, right? And the Sorcerer's Stone and Scooby-Doo, the movie, right? And stuff like that. Do you know Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone came out 22 years ago? 22 years ago.
Long time.
The Matrix, all like...
Oh, yeah.
Lord of the Rings, all those good movies are like
20-something years ago.
20 years old.
Most of the movies they make now are crap.
Oh.
I still have queen marking pins. Bunches and bunches and bunches. I know my website only says 4.
For marking my queen, I just bought like a pack, like a huge pack of just paint pens. Because queen marking pens are a ripoff.
These are paint pens, sir.
Okay, paint marker. Yeah, on Amazon there's like this box of like 30 or 50 pens for 20 bucks Canadian. That's what I got.
Yeah. That's not bad. It's not a bad price. If they work, they work. Let me see. Where did you send Marky? Where did you send me that at? If you send it by text, that won't work.
To who?
Mark put in the comment that he sent a link, a video link. Oh, to Lee to pass to me and Sebastian. Oh, Lee is. I don't know where Lee is right now.
He's asleep.
Is he
probably
sleeping?
works early tomorrow. He's been working 7 days a week.
Oh, is he still working 7 days a week?
I don't know, but he's mentioned it a few times, so I'm guessing.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. He did.
Yeah,
mention,
he's
yeah,
since
I-
he's been on this new contract, he's been working more. I know that. I sold $100 worth of honey today in my yard. Just people driving up and honking their horn. I wasn't out there with my honey. They just pull up.
Listen to
sold
this.
as well.
2 days ago, somebody knocks at my door. He was a guy that like redid the stairs in the backyard. He says, "I want $60 of honey," and then I'm coming back from the grocery store. As I go on foot because it's like 5 minutes walk, and there's somebody knocking in his own window. Hey, you have honey? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like crack, dude. They come to the door all shaking. You got some honey? Some of this
Good.
honey?
That's a good one. That's good.
Price just doubled. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Last jar. Who wants it most?
Who
I
first?
still have 3 big 5-gallon jars if you want.
I had a guy, he called me from the grocery store. I'm just leaving the grocery. He said, "Do you have honey?" "Yeah." "How much do you want?" "I want 5 1-pound squeeze bottles." "Great." And I had him bagged up when he got here. He handed me $50. I gave him the honey. Gone. And then I had some other people stop and buy pint jars, which are more expensive. So, and then later on, their son came back. "Hey, my mom bought some of your honey, and I just tasted it, and it was awesome." And then he came back and bought a jar. So I was like, cool. $20 a pound, bro. That's what you're selling yours for?
That's a good one. £20.
If you're getting $20 per pound, you are the man.
The comb honey I made, like, I what I did is I drilled some holes in an inner cover, glued some mason jar lids, and there was room for 11 jars. They only drew 2 of them, and when I took them out to sell, they sold instantly, like at $25.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Comb honey sells
the jar with the comb in it, and then you filled it the rest of the way up with honey.
Yeah, I have
Yes.
nook like this. Yeah, I have nook like this set up special for home honey. Yeah, but I prefer what Mike Palmer said. Super between 2 supers, and they
Is
just
he
go
using
like
raw or the hog half comb system? Is that what he uses for his comb honey? Or
don't
no,
think so, but I do not
normal
know.
wax, normal wax. You could
just
buy
like
know that-
foundation and lets him draw it out and then cuts it?
Yeah.
Gus Mitchell just sells whole frames in a box of comb honey. He
Yeah.
just takes the frame, puts it in a box, sells it like that.
Yeah, I sold a few, not last year, but year before. So that's 50 quid here for frame super.
50? How much
50
is that in Canadian pesos? I just
That'll
forget.
be 70,
well,
$80 Canadian.
$80
Canadian dollars, yeah.
That's pretty good. Just for
for one frame.
Yeah.
I had someone call me today for wax that they
But
wanted
not-
to make candles. I'm like, no.
Mike, Bob, but not deep. Super,
That's a medium.
medium, yeah, super.
yeah, $83. That's pretty good.
$83 for a medium of comb
Mm-hmm.
with honey.
Well,
in it.
that's Canadian dollars. That might be like, I don't know for
65.
US how much it is. But
65 US, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I asked him, because that's why I done it for last 2 seasons. We changed for a lot heavily for honeycombs because we selling quite a lot of honeycombs here.
Hey Ed, how are you making your comb honey? Are you using rounds or hog half comb, or you just do that way too? Cut it out of the frame.
I have a cutter to the frame. Special cutter. I have here. I'll show you. One sec.
Blaine said that's like $80 Canadian is like 25 cents US. Not quite.
shallow frames with the cutter. I think
Okay.
like the cutter, I think Sebastian's gonna go get fits exactly in the size of. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. This fits exactly in a shallow. You can just punch the shallow.
Yeah, just punch it in.
What type of container do you put it in?
It's a special plastic container. You buy some 8 ounces ones, and then that's it. put labels on, and thanks very much. There you
You
go.
get that tape label that goes around. You
Yeah.
just like tape it closed.
No, just the one tape label. I got special table for labels for
What's
honeycombs as
tapers?
well.
Never heard of that.
What do you think?
No,
Look.
Dan's mentioning a flower I never heard of.
Look.
That's a neat little package.
Yep. Cut them in.
Little clamshell
in-
type package.
Yep. In there. Yeah.
Now, is that the honey that came out of the comb, or did you put a little extra honey in there?
No. That's come on the hon.
Okay.
Come honeycomb.
Yeah, because
So
you
honey-
break some cells when you punch.
Yeah. Also honeycomb. I give you tips, guys, because I don't know you know. Honeycomb should be frozen for
Yeah,
48 hours. And then
Well,
you take out.
That kills
can't-
anything in it and makes it easier to cut.
No. So you should frozen for 48 hours. Take it out. You basically cut it, put them inside 48 hours, and then you get with the customer. Don't give that if there's no frozen. Because if there's any bacteria in there, you give a customer with bacteria in there, and you could make yourself serious problems.
Yeah.
So this is the old beekeeper way. Old man beekeeping, very long beekeeping. He said to me, "This is the most important thing you have to do. Honeycombs have to go for 48 hours. Take them out, and there's nothing wrong with that honey. All the honey is the same what it was before you put in. But only what you make it different." He said, "You kill all the bacteria.
Yeah.
But
All
it
the
should not be
bacteria.
in the honey. Very, very important." So that's how I do. And that's my last one.
What I have done is I've taken a deep that's foundationless that they've drawn out, and then I've froze that frame, and then I bring it in on my cutting board, and I'll cut it into squares like that. And if it's not, I just use a knife. You know, I don't have the tool, but I don't do very much of it. And then whatever the scraps are that's left over, little bits of honeycomb, then they go in a jar for chunk honey with honey on it.
Yeah.
And beeswax is essentially just fat, so it's perfectly edible.
But you could get for honeycombs. They have in UK we have wax very thin for typical for honeycombs. That's what I use it. Very thin one and easy manage as well. Very easy. It's like none basically. So anyway, thanks Bob and Alex, and have a nice.
Well, thank
nice
you for
rest
the
of the
great
weekend.
live stream earlier. Appreciate you, man.
Oh, sorry. He's Silver Galera asked him. You can freeze after you cut. Yes, that's how I do. Freezing first, and then we sell it. But cutting first before we freezing. That's what I do. Yeah. All right. I'm off.
All right, Sebastian,
have a good one,
thanks, brother.
See you later.
Bye.
Have a nice one.
Good night.
Bye. Good night, guys. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Make sure you subscribe my channel. When it be 1,000, I promise we'll be giveaway. Have a nice one.
Night again.
All right. So, what time is it? 11:30 almost.
Yeah, 11:21. At least here.
Got 145 watching. Thanks to Fox Plus giving us a boost somehow. I don't know how he hacks it, but he's got a hack somehow that we get a bunch of subs or viewers, not so much subs, but viewers. And we got 102 thumbs up. Woo woo.
That's
Now
pretty
I need 100 of those 145 to super chat, and it would be awesome.
I saw a super chat earlier.
Yeah, we got a super
one.
sticker. Yeah, I'm talking about out of these boosted people that are watching right now. So I mean, I'm getting excited. I ordered a bunch of grafted tools. Got those in. I got the stuff for my laser marker over there, laser etcher, and just doing some things.
I got myself not a hive tool. You got that word in my mind. a pierce grafting tool, and they're pretty
Oh,
hard
the
to
little silver.
use.
Oh,
Yeah.
the one. I don't even know how to use them. I just seen it. I know it's got a little lever on it, right? That you squish.
Yeah, it's a small lever. It's a really nice tool. It's harder to learn, but I think long term it's a more durable tool. So probably better once you learn how to use it properly.
Right.
But it was my first year and last year, and it was hard. Then I
Well,
just
you know what's
switched
going to
to
be what's going to be happening to you is you're going to get so used to using that tool that any other tool you're going to be like, that tool sucks. Like I was using this shitty Chinese grafter I've got here, right? And Amir came over when I was grafting last week, and he brought a nice one, and he's like, "Here, try this one." And I tried it twice. I'm like, I don't want that piece of crap. Give me my old one back, because once you get used to the way something responds, that's just how you're programmed to do it, right?
Yeah, it's basically
Muscle
learning.
reflex, right? Muscle memory. And the only thing I didn't like about this one is it started like, you probably maybe can see.
Yeah, you can see it.
Bent a little bit. And I keep trying to straighten it out and it keeps bending again. So let me see. They're talking about splits. So I've come to the conclusion this year that I'm only going to split when a colony tells me it's time to split. I'm not going to just split to be splitting. And Michael Palmer kind of verified that today. He's like, well, when you make a split, you're basically swarming the bees for them, right? And when you get a swarm, you really don't expect oh yeah. I know with the sandpaper and all that, Loma. Yep. Is that you can't necessarily expect any honey when you're from a split colony because you've knocked them back so far. Now there's different levels of splitting and stuff like that. I get it. If you took a frame from this one, a frame for that one, a frame from that one, and made a split, then a little bit different. But
yeah, I'm gonna try. Like right now, honey is not a priority. I want to grow the numbers of bees I have.
right.
Plus, the ridiculous basswood flow I have allows me to split more heavily. Like I said, I split one hive into like 14, and out of those 16, and out of those 12 survived. And I still got over 25 gallons of honey. It was that little spot. It's the access sucks, but God, the amount of nectar there is.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Let's see. 7 days or less until the queen emerges, and then approximately another 2 to 3 weeks before she's laying.
Dan Weaver, what I did was a flyback split that I tried raising queens, only 2 took. So I did a flyback split that Gus Mitchell uses.
And that worked really well?
Oh, yeah. It made like almost 30 cells. It was crazy. The hive that was left with 1 frame of brood and 1 frame of food got hyper defensive, and I didn't know that. So I came back a week after. I'll take a peek, and there was this tornado of angry bees because they're defending their last remaining brood.
So I've heard that term flyback split a few times on the stream. I have not seen that video. Can you?
It's really, really simple. You take your hive, like mine was a two brood chamber hive. You take everything away except 1 frame of food, 1 frame of brood, and the queen. You give her 8 on frame and put it at the spot where the old big hive was. You take the big hive and you move it somewhere else, and you let them draw cells.
And then all the foreigners fly back.
Yeah, all the workers fly back to the old spot, and they're oh my god, everything's gone, and they go in a frenzy mode. They have to revert back to wax
Flying
makers and nurse bees, and it works really well to make good quality cells. Because I face plant, like I didn't have the bees to make a good starter finisher. That was my problem last year.
That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, my starter finisher did make me some, right? Probably would have made me more if I would have done a few things differently.
Yeah, but I had 3 hives to draw from. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You had a bit more.
Yeah, I've got some, but I don't have, like I said, I don't have that many colonies that I can just keep robbing nurse bees and robbing from. That's where I'm at now.
Just a second, I'm typing to Dan
Uh,
about the well, may as well say it. Dan, look up Gus Mitchell. He's the one I learned the flyback split from. Oh, Mitchell.
so my queen should be emerging on Wednesday, the 11, or some variety of the 11, right? So sometime between now and then, I've got to make up at least. If I get all 11, I need to make up at least a good, probably. Let me see. I've got 2, 3. I've got to make a good 8, at least 8 mating nukes up this week, because I know that some of the original ones, the queen's not in there and she didn't make it back or something. So, but yeah, I also have colonies that I can just put virgins in right now, right? So
my operation's small enough that I didn't need to bother with an incubator. I just, one morning I made the split, went to the flyback and just tore out cut out the cells and gave them each split 1 cell.
Do you have
all on the same day?
Do you have queen? Okay, all on the same day. What I did is I was doing that, but I was caging the cells, right? Okay. So I would let 1 or 2 hatch out in a colony, and then I would have the other cells caged so she couldn't get to it to sting it, and then I would move that whole frame with cells to another colony and take off 2, let them hatch out, and just keep moving. Just kept moving that one frame. Yeah, it worked pretty well. I mean, for simplicity and not trying to cut off the plastic foundation and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
It was. I lost quite a few cells doing that, but I had like 20, 25, 30. I don't know, quite a few cells. So I just when they were capped, I just dismantled the hive, made the split, and just cut out a cell. You get one. Right. You get one. You get one.
I don't know why I get this,
but I won't be able to do that for much longer. Once I reach like maybe 60 hives, which should be 2024. I plan on doubling every year if possible until I reach at 120-ish hives. I can consider quitting my job and maybe work for the winter until I can go up to 240. Yes, that would be 240. Then I would just need to go up to 300-ish, or maybe stay at 240. It's enough to live off. Like I don't have much spending, and my rent's pretty low. And from then I can like maybe find a piece of land, have a full-on honey house built on it. I'd really like to make an earth bag house. Those look amazing for me.
No, I'm not 93 or 94 degrees. Why, James? I don't understand the question. No, I'm not. Matter of fact, it's going to be freezing tonight and tomorrow night.
Well, Tex, you can move to Quebec and ask for employment. It's boring. Like working on video game quality control is not what most people think. It is extremely repetitive. If you like that kind of job, sure, go ahead. and the pay's pretty low. It's like barely above minimum wage here. It's grunt work. So would not recommend. If you want to work in video game industry, go programmer or level designer. You'll get much better pay, probably a lot more fun doing it.
It's gonna be I'm excited though on this season, and I'm trying to not have any. I am trying my best to not have any conceptions on what this year is going to bring, right? And that's difficult for me because I think too much about stuff when I'm like I'm not on here.
I like that too.
And
I'm the kind of person that sees a situation and this could happen, this, and it branches off over and over.
And that's why it's like, well, do I re-up the self starter or do I just leave them a queen cell and make them a nuke, or do I order more poly hives, or do I do this, or do I do that? Or, the main thing is just having that plan. And hey, thanks, Carl. And trying to trying to keep the goal in sight, right? And like the 3x6 that we were talking about on earlier, is I could do that and leave a queen cell, or so the idea was I'm going to get queen cells. I'll take them out to the back there, let them come back mated, right? When they come back mated, well, then I can go out to my colonies and requeen the ones that need to be requeened, make some splits when I need to split them, that type of thing. And then I can take the cells back there, right? Or the virgins, and let them do the same thing. And then after I've replaced everybody, well, now I can start really looking at the expansion part of it. And
yeah, I lucked out. Only one queen was poorly mated. She started amazing. Like she started laying like crazy. The hive expanded, and then shotgun pattern in the brood, and then lots of drone brood, and then she was dead. Right. She was replaced by the workers.
Well, I had that happen too. They'll let her lay a pattern, and then they'll kill her, and then they'll raise cells off of her, right?
Exactly. And I killed one by mistake. That was pricey. I had to buy a new queen because it was in
Mike, you're funny.
November. No.
Oh, it said 93. It said 93 in the incubator, James. I should have went up to 94, but I didn't. It's still 93. So, in about 60% humidity.
I think it was in August, end of August, I killed a queen by mistake. When I was, because the thing was, I had a bunch of small nukes and 3 really strong hives. And they kept robbing the small hives blind. I lost, I started with 16. I lost 4 because of that. So at one point I just, screw it. I'm dismantling everything. I reduced the 3 big hives down to 1 box and spread everything amongst the nukes. That solved the problem. But doing that, I accidentally killed one of the queens.
That it happened.
Panic! Gotta buy one, and that's $45 down the drain.
When I started to try to build that starter finisher, and I moved those frames to that Lyson 10 frame, and I accidentally took the queen that I didn't, because she wasn't marked. I didn't see her, right? She's camouflaged, and so she was in there, and she went crazy. I mean, that whole bottom was like perfect, like a brand new colony. Well, her daughter in the other colony, there isn't a single box, right? But she's beautiful too. She's doing good. So gives me hope on the graphs, right? That it was good stock that she was pulled from. So
yeah, Yeah, I got pretty satisfied with the results of what I did. The two grafts that took were great, and the all the cells that survived were great, except for that one. Probably bad drones, bad drone mating. Couldn't find any.
Well, I'm thinking it. This weather has just been kind of crazy, but I've got drones, right? And as the problem is, you get drones and you got drone cells, but when the temperature drops down, like it's been, 55 during the day and 30 overnight, 32 at night, they'll start pulling those drone cells out. They'll start throwing them out.
Cannibalizing them.
So then when it gets warm again, well, then they'll start ramping it back up again. So hopefully we'll just get that consistent, that consistent temperature. That's what I need right now. Just a good few weeks, 3 weeks. That's all I'm asking for. 3 solid weeks of just steady 70s temperatures would be perfect, because that'll give me one full brood cycle, and then she'll go back and lay everything up again, right? So that's what I need.
So for me, I start feeding probably in 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how much snow melts. I'll be giving them rocket fuel patties and rocket fuel 1-to-1 syrup. That should make them explode enough that by the time it's warm enough for me to add a second empty box, they'll just dry it all up without any problem. And then once this is full, I'll make splits to try and double the number of hives I have.
That's what I'm saying, Ed. Good luck, right, with the temperature.
Yeah, that's all the question. Always the temperature.
Carl, you need one day of 70 so they can get out and poop one good time. And
it's starting to get warm enough for the bees to be able to go out and have their business done.
I don't have that problem here. That's not like a problem we have down here.
Yeah, we do.
Get out and poop. But ours is on the other end, right? So now they're out flying and burning up resources, and there's sometimes of the year there's nothing for them to get. So that's the flip side of that coin, where you guys are secluded in, but as soon as they come out, it's not very long after that you guys got probably dandelions and all kinds of stuff.
It comes like it comes in rapid fire. Like once nature takes off, it doesn't stop until September. It's one continuous flow. But like I said, on top of the usual Quebec flow, I have basswood, which goes nuts.
Right. I've got all kinds of woods and wildflowers and berries and stuff that grow in the ditches, red clover, stuff like that. But the bad part about where I live is it's either woods or there are some neighborhoods around, but the county and the city comes by and they mow all those ditches and cut them all down, and the medians and the roads, right? They mow them all down. And I wish they wouldn't. I made a plea on the television when they were talking about, what things are doing. I said, hey, city, let the stuff bloom. So the bees
then cut it. Once the bloom is done, then you can cut it.
Yeah, then cut it. Don't cut it when it's blooming, you idiots. But one thing I thought about doing one time is our city sewage plant, right? They've got these spray fields, and this is going to sound nasty, and I don't know what it would do, but they have these spray fields. So once they process the waste at the wastewater plant, they spray these fields. Well, a few years ago, they had acres and acres of sunflowers planted out there. That would have been a perfect place to put bees, right? For all them sunflowers, but nobody ever had them out there. And
from I don't know where I saw this, but apparently sunflowers are extremely good for bees. I don't quite remember if it's their immune system that it boosts or something akin to that, but having sunflower is very, very good for bees.
The James said 3 weeks. He's hoping to be in gear in 3 weeks.
Same here.
He's already
I'm
got his
hoping-
drone heaters on. He's warming up the drones right now. So it'll be interesting. I'll be happy to see everybody's and talk to everybody about how's it going as things get started, And we've had swarms. I bet you next week we'll be getting swarm calls down here for sure because all those bees are locked up in wherever they're at, and now all that brood is going to be hatching out. So now they're going to be slammed in there. They're going to be swarming.
I got lucky with swarms.
My hives don't swarm in the spring because I keep on them, right? I go through my colonies.
Yeah, except for the first year, which I had the knowledge but didn't know how to apply it yet. They swarmed themselves to death, which was a good thing because the store I bought the bees from had small hive beetles illegally. Like the company imported illegally imported nukes contaminated with small
How
hive
can they
beetles.
even get them over there? I thought you couldn't buy nukes from anywhere.
I don't know, man. I know that the equivalent of the.
Of course, if they're on the border, they could. The bees don't know where the line is.
All the hives died, so that solved my problem. Small hive beetles when I started over. So no beetles since then.
Well, it's funny. I feel like I'm starting over this year. I've got bees, but I honestly feel like it's year one again. Not from the knowledge standpoint, but from the actual colony strength and all of that stuff. It really feels like I'm starting over right now. So,
are there other beekeepers near you will inherit?
There's some, but they're not within like flight range of my bees.
Yeah, that might be a problem for you.
So,
because I know there's other beekeepers within flight range of a queen-ish. So I'm pretty sure there's no inbreeding for me. But
well, again, last year I introduced a bunch of different genetics in, right?
That helps.
So that should help with that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. I'm interested to see. I'm hopefully optimistic. But this is year 5, and in my mind, I expected to be further along than I am. And not to say I did everything perfect. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I just assumed that I would have been further along than I am right now.
I really want to be further along. I need a new job.
But again, you gotta take those lumps, right? You gotta take those lessons. Knock on wood, I haven't had total dead out or anything like that as far as like starting over from that aspect, but just starting over from, from the aspect of I have colonies, but not all those colonies are even, I wouldn't sell them. You know what I mean? It's not like I would. If I put them in a nuke, I probably wouldn't sell that nuke. It's just like
they're subpar from.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to buy those. And now that I know their history, I wouldn't want to sell those. I wouldn't put that off on somebody else. So we're gonna get those fixed one way or another. Even if it's taken, one of these queen rearing nukes that just has 2 frames in it and a queen that if it's mated. Don't think I won't put a box on top with a piece of paper in between and let that queen merge, let them merge right into her colony, I sure will. Not a problem. We'll merge them together. Let me see. Saw some hive beetles. Yeah, I've got sandy soil here, Dan, so they love it over here.
What you could do is put rubber mats under your hives. That helped. keep them under control when I had them.
Last year, I put diatomaceous earth down, then I put that black fiber cloth, then I had wood chips on top of that. So if larvae got out, they had to go through wood chips, through the fiber cloth, through diatomaceous earth to get to the soil. But
That's good.
that helps limit their growth, right?
Yes.
But they do all the damage in the colony before they leave out to go into the dirt. When they lay the larvae in there and they slime your colony out, that's before they drop to reproduce. Or
they pupate in earth.
Yeah, it's a pupate,
the larva hatches, starts eating broods, slimes the hive, falls out, then pupates.
Does anybody know Michael Palmer's YouTube channel right off the top of your head?
I don't. Well, he has one, but there's not many videos on there.
He does a lot of videos on other people's stuff, right?
Yes, but his channel does not have many videos. I'm not sure I'm subscribed to him. Let's see if I can find the channel. Maybe I'm still subscribed. Beekeeping.
I'm glad we got we went from 150 down to 36 viewers. So I guess whatever Fox Plus did, he undid it.
Yeah, he doesn't have an active channel. I can't find it.
So it's but you know what? He seems to be a very down to earth guy. And I was glad to be in the same YouTube stream with him.
Just the fact that he's willing to share with pretty much anyone who asks, it's pretty amazing.
His philosophy was pretty much. He was talking about it at the end, how he doesn't do it for the money or anything like that. It's more about leaving the community better than he found it, type of deal, and that's a good rule to live by. Everything you do.
You kind of do the same thing, and so do I, and so does any beekeeper who makes a channel.
Yep.
Like, there's no money to be made in a beekeeping channel, and that's one of the big ones, like Cameron Reynolds,
or Ian, or
Happy,
or one of those guys, and they'll tell you too. I mean, in talking to Dirt Rooster, he said he used to make a lot more money with YouTube than he makes currently because of the way they change things up. So,
but I'm still gonna make videos. I can't make any because there's so much snow. But
right,
I don't make YouTube because I want to make money. I make YouTube videos because I want to share what I learned so people can learn from my mistakes.
And the videos I was making primarily was so I could look back and see what I was doing a year ago.
That helps so much.
It's like just a video diary. And then, we started doing the live chats, and then it became hanging out with the community and talking. So that, and meeting a bunch of new friends, there's no doubt in my existence that if I called Alex up and I said, "Hey, Alex, I'm going to be in Quebec next week. Let's go grab some Tim Hortons or something," you'd be like, "Let's do it." It wouldn't be a question, Or James says, "Hey, I'm going to be down in South Carolina the week of the 7th of May. Great, I'll show you around. We'll have a good time and hang out, maybe drink a pint." Something like that. And
I don't like alcohol, but
you can drink. You get the gist.
That's it. I can't stand this stuff. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
First time I tried alcohol was a kid. Like, my grandpa gave me a beer. Blech. Then at 12-ish, I tried wine. I never drank alcohol. I just can't stand the taste.
And then, let me see. I've had a lot of people that have come here. Well, not a lot, I guess, compared. Ricky from Horizontal Bees. He's came down here. Ricky Rourke. He got some queens from me last year. And then Daisy's Honey, Steve, he's come down. He was at the beach. He drove over. We went to lunch. There's several other guys that are on here all the time. Dennis Lentz, he's come down. He's the one who turned me on to the Domino sugar thing. And yeah, we just hang out, talk bees, go through a colony if you want to, whatever. Alex,
Yeah,
what do you like? You like your tea hot? We drink iced tea. Oh, and I don't know, but
I like iced tea actually.
when you go to Canada though, and you ask for iced tea, it's not sweet iced tea, is it? You have to add.
It is. It is.
Oh,
It
you
is
do
sweet.
sweet tea. I bet you if you came down here and you said, "Oh, I'm gonna get a tea. Let me get a sweet tea." Total different animals. It's more like sugar water that's brown. That's what
I
it is.
like some sugar.
Oh,
I
it's
don't drink a
diabetic
whole lot of tea,
sugar.
but I like it slightly sweet because I'm not a soft drink drinker either. I don't. It's way too sugary, and I'm getting older, so.
3
But,
cups of sugar, 1 cup of tea. That's right.
Yeah,
It's
it's
2 to
2 to
1 here. Absolutely. I mean, I'm the same way. I actually, and I prefer my tea, my sweet tea,
with rocket fuel.
I put lemon in it. I use lemon, right? And then I'll actually let my ice melt a little bit. So it's a little bit watery, right? It's diluted. So I guess I prefer the 1-to-1, with the rocket fuel. That's what it is.
So long as you don't start too late, there's comb behind you.
What's that?
I said, so long as you don't start drawing comb, and I said, too late, there's comb behind
There's
you.
comb behind me already. So,
Yeah.
man, that's become my junk shelf. Look, you got on that side, you got compressed air, right? On that side, you got an empty mead bottle. So I got these things when I made my mead off of Amazon. And it's just a wine bottle, but it's got a cap. So you just push this down and twist it. But when you open it, this piece stays on the bottle and the lid screws off of it. So that's why it was just kind of sitting on there like that. But yeah, so I made a little bit of meat. Of course, I got my firearm rounds here and a bunch of stuff. Just stuff. I got stuff everywhere. But yeah,
You should see my kitchen. There's beekeeping stuff everywhere. The extractor, the pails. Like I don't eat in my dining room. I eat in my kitchen on the tiny counter, like the tiny table that's around the kitchen counter, because there's just so much beekeeping crap. I don't have room. That's one of my biggest issue.
If I
storage.
My wife is so embarrassed. She's like, "What if somebody comes over? You've got all this." I've got everything in my kitchen. I've got bee boxes. I've got my wax melter. I've got my bottling tank. I've got that automatic bottling machine in there. Everything. The kitchen has become an extension of my honey house, right? So it's not too good.
You need a patio, a honey house like Richard Knowles.
Oh, those guys, hey, good for them, but I don't know how they can afford all that. I mean,
well, it compounds pretty quick once you reach 200 or 300, right? Like at the there's like the 3 tiers, like at the bulk prices. Here it's I have an offer, like an open offer of $3.25. So that's about 7.3 thousand per ton. 15, like where I am right now, 15 hives can make me a ton of honey. So at the most optimistic view, if you will,
right?
Every 15 hives, I make almost $7,500. So it racks up pretty quick.
Yep, but all the boxes that you have to buy and everything to that point, right? Before that.
But boxes you only need to buy once every, 10, 20 years?
Well, that's what my thought was until all my boxes started warping and everything this year.
Do you wax them or just paint?
No, those were actually EcoWood treated, but 100,000 a year payment. That'll make time fly. Yep. So it is a you know, like you've got to grow. So like we were talking about the guy earlier that's buying the 300 colonies.
Get this guy some help, please. Tell him to get some help. I don't want to see him fail.
Me neither. He's gonna, and he might have a plan he didn't tell me about. You know what I mean? But with the with buying those bees and equipment and everything, that's a big investment, and he didn't have to grow into it. So maybe he'll be, knock on wood, I hope he's wildly successful and producing all the honey and everything he needs to pay those bills, you know. And not only that, but you got to be able to dispose of that honey. Just because you can make it doesn't mean you can get rid of it, right?
That's a whole other beast. I got lucky. Like I said, I'm lucky I have an open offer but at bulk prices. If I can find smaller businesses that buy at the pail, like buy pails instead of bulk, I make basically a pail would get me 500 300 instead of 180. So
right.
It's like my brother was speaking to me. He said it's the amount of effort versus the amount of money you can make.
Right. Well, like that's with Ian. They're in the co-op, right? So
he just sells to be made bulk. He doesn't bother bottling.
Handles it once, sends it, done, right? And then he's got his money for the year or whatever. So,
but he's got 1,200 hives ish.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
He has a lot of expenses though because he runs a farm with his brothers. But 300,000 pounds of honey at $3 that's $1 million.
So like around $1 million, right? But then what does the new boxes and the new pallets and the new frames and the new
and the rest of the farm, because he's got cattle and he's got I don't
know Ian's business model, but I'm pretty sure if I was a betting man, knowing how efficiently he runs his bee business, I'm pretty sure the farm runs under this and makes its own money, right? So it's its own separate business model and makes its own separate money and stuff like that. So,
yeah, but the impression I got is he, like, since it's one business with the three brothers, the beekeeping, I could be wrong. I never spoke directly to Ian. It's only through email. But the impression I get is the beekeeping money a lot of it goes to help the rest of the farm, the other two branches, if you will.
The stable part of it, right?
It's less fragile. Beekeeping, bees are fragile.
Oh yeah, I recognize this. Yeah, for sure. But this will be a good year. I think so. It's just managing. I think for me, it's more about not only managing my bees, but managing my expectations for my bees is probably bigger than managing my bees. Ian said he thinks he's got a big mite problem in his shed this year. Ooh, I hope not.
Well, somebody Ian knows treated his hives.
Phil the bee man.
Yes, Phil. I'm not good with names.
And
it works.
Our buddy James the Outlaw, he CO2 treated his. So we'll see how that.
Don't be in the shed when you CO2 treat. Oh gosh.
CO2'd the whole shed. So
and as far as I know, it's a pretty small margin between what bees and mites can tolerate. So you got to be careful not to gas your bees.
But if you can pump, even if it's like, no, I think there's a little bit of a margin there, like 20,000 parts per million or something like that. I'm not sure what the exact excuse me, what the exact number is, but the
But if you can gas the freaking mites, it's all of them that go.
right.
That would be
Holy
amazing.
moly, who we got here? DP, where you
What's
been,
going
brother?
on?
Hello.
Man, ain't seen you in a long time. You been all right?
I'm doing better.
Was you sick for a while?
Well, I'm getting better. I had some heart problems.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, brother. How's your bees? I've had that smile. I've had that smile.
I had one nuke left. One nuke left. I got sick end of September, and I went back out here the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I had one nuke left, and I split it because I found a queen cell. So I got another queen coming. I got 2 packages ordered. I'm going to try to get back in it. I got surgery for a pacemaker coming middle of next month.
All right. Well, just do what you can do, man. That's it. I was the same way. My first year I was up to 15 colonies. And you know what I overwintered? 4 nukes out of 15 colonies.
Wow.
Yep. The hive beetles. I got a whole video on it. It's called The Game of Drones When Hive Beetles Attack. And the hive beetles wiped me out my very first year. And I overwintered 4 nukes. And then the next year I had 12 make it through winter. So it was it happens to all of us, man. But the main thing is get your health right. That's the thing. I got the same thing, man. I've got a cardiac appointment on Monday, actually. They're trying to figure out what's going on. So we'll see what they're going to do. I've got a 50% blockage. And this was 2 years ago. I had a 50% blockage in one of my arteries. But they said they couldn't stent it until it was over 75%. So that's
hopefully it cleared a bit.
I doubt it. I don't think those things just fix themselves. They give you medication because they throw medication at everything, right? But yeah, we're trying to get that figured out. So I've been going to the cardiologist, and hopefully they will fix it before something happens drastic.
Yeah.
Like I'm out in the yard. And
yeah.
A lot of people come and they don't really give me shit. I give myself shit when people look at the video and they see stuff around. That's not because I don't want to clean it up. But literally, you guys laugh. But like yesterday, I came on a stream and, Bob, did you just wake up? And I said, yeah, because every day I just wake up before these streams. I literally go lay down for a few hours before I go on a stream. Because I'm dead. I'm just so worn out that I just go do it. It's like I never used to do that, but if my body tells me I need rest, I go take rest.
Yeah. Well, I ended up with pneumonia, and basically it was because I had less than 20% ejection fraction, and so I couldn't keep the body just starts breaking down. It starts collecting fluid, and me, it's not in my legs, it's in my lungs. They checked me for blockage. I don't have any blockage at all, but they think that I got some kind of a bacterial infection because I got sick into September, and I went in the hospital 1st of November, and I'd been to the doctor, and they took x-rays and said my heart was normal size. And then 4 or 5 weeks later, they said it was enlarged. So they did a blood culture to see if I had an infection, but I'd been on antibiotics for over a month. So they don't know. So the only thing they know is that it's weak now. So they're going to give me a defibrillator.
Yeah, those are not fun. My dad
No,
had
not if they go off.
my dad had one of the very first models of
Really?
defibrillator that was like, it was like that big, and it was, I mean, it was big as my cell phone almost, but thicker, you know. And
Yeah.
it actually misfired. Something went wrong with it, and it fired 400 times between the time he was here to get to the hospital.
Wow.
And then they replaced it with the newer model. But I'm sure they got better ways to do it now. They've got defibrillators with pacemakers in them, so
Yeah.
they do both. It's just
Yeah,
like,
it's the same. It's actually the same kind of thing. Only the defibrillator can give you the jolt, but all you have to do to turn it off is hold
magnet.
a magnet over it.
Or is
So
it
it's
charged induction?
What's that?
I don't know.
How do they charge them, the pacemakers? Induction?
I have no idea. It's got a battery inside it. So when it's actually hooked directly to your heart, you don't have to have a whole lot of voltage. So I'm
Yeah, but
sure it has
batteries die.
capacitors. My grandmother had one back. She got hers in the 80s, and she went through 3 of them.
Okay.
And she got her first one when she was 76, and she died at 93. So
That's a
when
good
they put
while.
the first one in, they said that's going to last her the rest of her life. And, 20 some years later, she went through 2. And so they never hooked it up to anything and tried to recharge it.
Right.
I'm not really sure how all that works.
Well, now they got wireless charging for cell phones. They probably got that technology and that kind of stuff too, where you just put something on you and it could charge the battery back up.
The new ones are supposed to be able to hook up with your Wi-Fi
and send the information to the hospital.
Right. Automatically hook up with the Wi-Fi, like through your phone or your iPad. So I have 2 iPads and an iPhone. So I'm going to take all 3 of them in with me. That way they can
sync it all up.
And I'll have a backup,
You'll be the only Bluetooth human on the face of the planet.
Yeah, but I moved both of my nukes later this evening, and it's been a little over a week since I found that queen cell, and it's
should have a virgin walking around in there.
No, it's not.
Was it capped?
Yeah, it was capped when I found it like 10 days ago, but it hasn't come out yet. So I'm thinking it must be dead.
Yeah, probably, because it should only be in there like once it's capped 6 days, it should be hatching out.
Yeah. So I caught from Barnyard Bees had a thing, and they have one. I got it on the way. I ordered it on the 16th. They mailed it on the 17th.
Now remind me where you're located now.
Livingston, Texas.
And you're buying a queen or a package from Georgia?
Just a queen. Well, I got a package coming, but it won't be here till the last week of March. That'll have a queen with it. I got 4 double deeps with supers on them, all of which are dead, and I haven't taken them apart yet.
Well, did you treat them at all, like for mites or anything last year?
Yeah, I had strips I put in, and I got sick last part of September, so
couldn't do the winter treatments really.
I put supers on just before that, and then I got sick, and I had times where I live in a 35-foot travel trailer.
Right.
And there was times when it took me I had to stop and rest halfway at the table between my bedroom and the bathroom
Right.
to get to the bathroom. So,
Not fun.
and then I was in the hospital for like 2.5, 3 weeks. And so I stayed it because getting in and out of the bedroom here, it's like you've got a bed with 2 feet around this way and 1 foot around that way, you
Right.
know? And so I stayed up at the house where I could actually have a real bed and a floor to walk on, you know, for a while. And so I came back and everything was dead. And I thought all of them were dead till I found that one nuke, and it has one of those Cordovan queens because she's marked.
Right.
I had a marked queen, and she's still in there, and there were 3 frames and a feeder in it. And I found a queen cell in there, so I took the feeder out, and I found some other drawn comb and put in there, and I took that
Well,
frame out.
since you've been gone, we've got a lot more beekeepers that are in this chat all the time that are in Texas.
Rich for one.
Well, Rich is in there. We got the Blaine, the Texas beekeeper. We got RTX Honeybees is outside of Dallas, right? Dallas area. So we got a lot of beekeepers that are around there. So, you know, if you're wanting to get bees and not have to get them from Georgia, you might be able to get them from one of those guys, you know, get a split off.
I got 2 queens. I got 2 queens coming from Texas Bee Supply.
They're high, bro.
Yeah, well, they're about $45 a piece. I ordered them a while back, and here's the thing: I got one package coming into March. I've got another one coming middle of April.
Right.
Okay, so it's supposed to be mailed between the 13th and the 15th. And then the queens I'm supposed to pick up on the 14th. And that's the day I'm having my procedure.
Do you have someone who can help you get the bees for you?
Yeah, I've got a 15-year-old son.
Oh.
So, but I got to get somebody to take me to the thing. So I think I've got a ride, and we'll go out after the procedure. I mean, to pick up my queens, because I don't want them to sit there.
Oh no, you definitely don't want them to sit there.
Because I got 2 boxes of bees, and I'm sure I'll have more bees, because that queen is laying. I checked her before it turned cold, and she had 2 frames almost full. So I'm pretty sure by then I'll have new bees in that box.
Right.
And because that box, even though it only had 3 frames, it was just busting out. It was full. They were fixing to swarm. But I think I killed the queen cell. So I got another queen coming for that one. But wouldn't you know, I mean, I ordered the queens before, and then the next day the cardiologist office calls and says, yeah, we got your insurance approval, and we're going to do it on this day.
Right.
And on top of that, my son has a dentist appointment that day as well. So.
Wow. Timing.
Yeah. Everything comes together at the same time.
That's crazy. Yeah. Everything
everywhere all at once.
Yeah. Everything happens all at once. You in Scotland, LaGrange?
No, I'm in Quebec.
Canada.
Where?
Quebec, Eastern Canada.
You know how Canada got its name, right?
I think it's the name of a sort of a type of longhouse.
No, they argued for a long time in French and English for about 3 years, and then finally they very politely decided that they were going to very politely put all the letters of the alphabet in a hat, and whatever came out was going to be the name. So they drew the first letter, C-A, and then the next letter, N-A, And then the next letter is E. I've
That's-
traveled a
Yeah,
lot.
I have a
up
bit of
there,
an accent because
Edmonton.
my first language is French.
Really?
I try to tamp it down. I've been speaking English since the age of 11. I'm 46 now, so I've been speaking English for a long time, but I don't have many people to speak English with.
Oh, so you're in Quebec?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I flew in. I went to Trois Rivières for there's a place up there called starts with an M.
Montreal?
Well, no. Montreal's where I flew in. I'm trying to think of the manufacturer I audited. They're in Trois Rivières.
Yeah, I don't know if we can trust Alex. A French
No
Canadian
way.
who doesn't drink. There's something sketchy about that.
Oh, yes, there is, because you can still find smoking motels in Quebec.
That's
But all the street signs are in French. All the
Yeah.
signs, everything's in French. When I got back from Trois Rivières to Montreal, which it took me 3 hours to get out of Montreal, I thought Houston traffic was bad. Huh.
I've never been to Trois-Rivières. I've only been in the Laurentians area. I have family near Sherbrooke, but I think as a child I went to Quebec City, but I haven't
Okay.
traveled that much around.
It's a split difference between Montreal and Quebec City. It's about the same distance, if I remember correctly. Maybe about an hour less.
Okay.
But I tell you, when I was in Trois Rivières, I walked out of the hotel there, and I'm walking down towards the main drag because they got a main drag that goes right along the river right there. And they got a whole bunch of bar and restaurants and stuff. And there's this like gang of kids, teenagers. And I guess the oldest one was maybe about 17. The youngest one was 13 or 14. And they're passing around a 45 automatic around. And I'm walking down, and I see the 45, and I cut across the street because I was on the same side of the street as them. I cut across the
probably
street,
would have
and I
done the
started
same
back
thing.
down the other side. And they're like, they saw it, and they're all sitting there pointing at me and laughing. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to cross the street. You got a friggin' pistol? Yeah. Yeah, but you're not a teenager, Bob. What about Bob when he was 17
right.
with a bunch of buddies?
James is
Outside
probably
of the
packing heat right
Local
now.
hangout. Because it's a small town. Trois Rivières is a small town. I mean, it's like maybe 20,000 people. Is that about right, Alex?
I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know.
It's a small burb. It's nothing like Houston or Montreal. Maybe
Yeah, Montreal
it's like
has over 2
Nacogdoches.
million
It might
people.
have 30, 40,000 people.
And where I
It is
live,
like-
I am presently about 45 minutes north of Montreal in the Laurentians, and my bees are maybe 20 minutes east of me in a small place called Saint-Lin. It's a small rural village, and I just asked, I just phoned random farmers, and this guy said, "Yeah, I could have bees, and somebody used to raise queens here." So I just moved in and starting working bees after I lost my bees on the first year, because the bees first, well, I lost all my bees. Second, the bees scared the landowner's father, so I had to find a new place. And he has this huge pumpkin patch that has
Oh yeah.
basswood. So I can get squash honey, broccoli honey. If he lets it, I don't think he let it flower though, but either squash honey or and basswood honey. Basswood is amazing. It tastes like mint.
Yeah, the trees are a lot better for honey.
Yeah, and they make a lot of nectar. Like
Yes.
like I said to Bob earlier, the bees. I had 2 hives in production last year, and those 2 drew and filled 2 boxes in 2 weeks, and then some. They were starting a third when the basswood flow stopped.
Yeah,
The
that's what
small village is
Bob Benny
amazing.
has a video. Bob Benny had a video, and it's like one of the best things you can do for bees is to plant trees that produce nectar, like the basswood, the sourwood. Believe it or not, I don't know how well they'll do up north. I know, Bob, that they'll do well where you are because they're like a weed down here. People hate them. They're called the Chinese tallow.
Oh yeah, but
You
that's
can
I
the
don't know
thing.
if
plant
there's
3
tallow
or
here.
4 of them, and they'll take over. I mean, they will take over. Down here in Texas, they're all along all the fence lines because you mow your field, but the fence lines don't get mowed. The tallow trees take over. The bees love them. That and privet, which is also an invasive species here. Tallow and privet, and there's another one I can't remember the name of it, but they're all quote invasive down here. But I don't know what you got up there. I mean, you
We
got
have
miles and
maple. We
miles and
have.
nothing but miles and miles in Canada.
I know black locust does not grow here. It's too cold. I'm not sure
Yes.
about sourwood. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. I could look it up. Like, hey Google, does sourwood grow in Quebec?
It doesn't grow down here. I know it grows in the Carolinas.
Yeah, we get some down here. Mine, I be honest with you, I don't know where all of my honey comes from. I just call it wildflower honey.
Yeah.
And
Well, we've got the blue bonnets and everything's blooming down here.
Yes, sourwood can grow here. As if I'm just scanning over, but it looks like it can grow here. Black locust cannot, but sourwood probably yes. As far as I can see, I just looked up just the search, just quick scan, and it looks like it can.
So the locusts you have up there, are they big trees or small
Black
trees?
locust
or
cannot
what?
grow here.
Oh, it can't?
No, it's too cold. I think it needs higher temperatures. The winters in Quebec are too cold. But we apparently
too cold
have
for me.
And sorry,
I said it's too cold for me.
too cold for me too. But I live here.
Last time we had snow was 2 years ago.
we had it last year here.
You're lucky.
2 years
because,
ago in
last time we had
February,
snow was
and
about an hour ago.
Yeah, well, yeah. The first time it snowed that I can remember, I was 7 years old. That was 50 years ago, and it had been 13 years since it snowed.
That's
So
impressive.
You see, James, I have no trees that make honey. That must be why I don't get that much. Only 3,800 pounds off 78 colonies.
there you go.
Just a little bit.
Well, I'm moving some bees up. I've got a place up a couple of counties up about 100 miles north. And I forget what the app was. I looked it up before I got sick. And it shows you
Plant net or something like that.
Yeah, it shows you how bees do. And it turns out that they do a lot better there than they do here. And there's nobody living in the house there. So I'm going to put a hive right next to the front door and another hive right next to the back door. That's my plan.
I'll be right back.
Burglary prevention.
Yeah, burglar prevention.
That's pretty good.
That'll keep the faint of heart away.
Yeah. Like no one in my family ever wanted to get anywhere close to my hives. they don't like bees, which kind of saddens me. I have a young niece. She's what, 10 years old now, but she's not interested.
My son's
nephew.
not really interested in them either. I got involved with them a few years back because I had been, well, I'm in my late 50s, and I've always had a phobia when it came to wasps and bees and such. And I decided I was tired of being scared of it. And I actually encountered a swarm where I worked at.
That's probably
And
the
they
ideal.
wanted to kill them, and I actually went around and I found somebody that I worked with that had a cousin or an uncle that was a beekeeper. And so we called him and had him come out, and I actually stood out there next to him, which is no small feat because I've always been deathly afraid of them. And I actually stood out there next to the swarm, and they were on a crate, and they'd actually started making a hive inside the crate, and which we didn't find out until later. And I stood out there until the guy got there, and I watched him get them out and put them in a box and everything. And he found the queen, and I got hooked.
You got the sting?
Yeah, I got hooked, man. It's like, and I studied it for about 1.5 years before I got my first bees. So, and I've been in it. This will be my 3rd year. So,
The way I started is because of video games.
really?
Minecraft.
Yeah, there's a game called Minecraft. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Minecraft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an add-on you can put on it that has bees. And I'm the kind of person that does obsessive research when something's interesting to me. And I was researching the game's bees, and YouTube suggested an actual beekeeping video from Vino Farm. I watched it, found it interesting, watched another and another, and then I said, screw it. I went to his library, went to the first video, said, play all 2x speed, watched 3 years of beekeeping in 2 days.
Yeah.
Then I started, well, I could do this. So I started studying, and like you, about a year after, I got my first hives.
I must have ordered.
Yeah, I
too
got
much
that
stuff
from
on
Sarah's
Amazon.
Happy Hives. It's a Minecraft
Clover?
4-leaf clover.
Nice.
I won it because she wanted to know. She had the answer was Minecraft was, what does that look like it came from? Because it's all square.
Yeah.
And it's like my son played Minecraft forever and ever.
It's a beautiful
I'm
game.
like,
I love it.
oh, that's from Minecraft. That would be Minecraft, where everything's square. And so she just mailed it to me. I just got it this week. So shout out to Sarah.
Yeah, my niece does not like the hives, but she made me like this. It's a kid's drawing, okay, but it's to me it's amazing. I kept it like this drawing of bees, because while she does not like bees, she likes me and she knows I like bees. So I really appreciated that. I'll keep that for as long as I live, probably. When I'm old and she's like, she one day I'll just show that to her once she's an adult, just to see her reaction.
Here's an idea for you. You should get a couple of boxes, put them together, and then paint them white, and then give them to her and tell her to paint something on it about bees.
That's a good idea.
She'd probably really, really think that was cool. And then you can give her some honey out of one of the boxes. I had honey in mine, I can tell, because they got robbed out. They tore up all I opened a couple of them. And it looks like they got robbed out. So
yeah, I had Robin
because it's all the frames, the comb's all torn up. So
yeah, that's a sure indication of robbing. Yeah. You're right.
Well, guys, it is 12:30 a.m.
Oh my.
and
You want to get some beauty sleep?
well, my wife's putting on a movie, so I think she expects me to come lay down and watch a movie with her.
That's
Well, you better
reasonable.
do that, bud, or you're going to be like
Yeah.
me.
You don't want to anger your wife ever.
I tell you what, I've been wrong before. I got 2 sets of divorce papers to prove it.
I understand that. I've been there too. So,
Okay, Bob.
all right,
Thank
guys.
you for the stream.
Good meeting you, Alex.
Good to meet you, DP.
DP,
God bless y'all.
yeah, man, come on back, man. Don't be a stranger. Tuesday nights for sure, 8:00.
Okay,
If it-
bud. We'll see you then.
If it's not live here, it'll be live over on Lee's channel. I don't remember
Okay.
week to week all the time which channel we're on.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, y'all, yeah. Damn you, James. Not enough time for my beauty sleep. All right, guys. Well, y'all have a good night.
Good night.
And we'll see you. Sometimes on Sunday night, you know, Charlie goes live or something like that. So you never know what's going to happen. So, all right, guys. Y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you later. Good night. And